Wondery Plus subscribers can listen to Crime and Sports early and ad-free right now. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts.
In the depths of an Atlanta forest, a clash between activists and authorities ends in tragedy. I'm Matthew Scher, and on my new podcast, We Came to the Forest, we expose the hidden truths behind a shootout that left one activist dead and countless lives forever changed. Binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest ad-free on Wondery Plus.
Hello and welcome to Crime and Sports.
Yay!
Oh, yay indeed, Jimmie. Yay indeed. My name is James Pietragallo. I'm here with my co-host.
I am Jimmie Whisman.
Thank you, folks, so much from the top of the mountains for joining us this week. We're shouting it across the entire land. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us on another incredible, death-defying edition of Crime and Sports.
Terrific.
It's a wild one. It's a funny one. This is one of these guys that's marginally famous, so a lot of people know who he is if it's a casual sports fan or whatever.
Sure.
But again, like most of our episodes, it does not matter. It's a crazy story that you don't expect, and you root for the guy.
Yeah.
It's a roller coaster of rooting for him and then hating his guts for being such a fucking moron.
Awesome.
So it's fun. It's one of those. I like those. Those are a good time.
I like to root for him.
We like to root for him for a minute anyway, and then he'll do something stupid where you go, you stupid son of a bitch, and then he'll actually win you back.
You didn't have to.
He'll win you back, and then you're like, no, you're an asshole. I was right the first time.
Okay.
So anyway, never mind all that.
Yeah.
Thank you, folks, like we said. Thanks, everyone, this week for your iTunes reviews. They mean the world to us. We appreciate them greatly, so thank you. We can't thank you enough for that. If you haven't done it yet, please get on iTunes. Give us 5 stars. Doesn't matter what you say. Tell us you're following instructions, following directions.
See you in the fall.
That's all. It's just a business thing. That's all it is. It's not for our egos. So it helps drive you up the charts, and that's very, very important to us and important to business. And speaking of business, if you want to be an even bigger part of our business and be a wonderful, wonderful person that we call our producers and our executive producers, who you will hear a long list of at the end of the show, you can do that very easily by going to patreon.com/crimeinsports or going over to PayPal. You can make a one-time donation there. Super easy, using our email address, which is crimeinsports@gmail.com. And every dime, honestly, is insanely appreciated from the bottom of our hearts. Thank you. And it pays for electricity and stuff, so thanks. We really appreciate it. And if you want to go get merch and that sort of thing, shirts and some new shirts up there, you can go over to shutupandgivememurder.com to do all of that. And another thing that's going to pop up pretty soon on shutupandgivememurder.com is a lot of tour dates for Small Town Murder.
Big cities.
There is one live Crime and Sports early next year. We can't announce that yet, but the cities for Small Town Murder, we can't announce the dates and the venues today. That's like next week, I think, but we can tell you the cities. We can tell you all the cities. We are San Francisco, Portland, Seattle, Minneapolis, Detroit, Chicago, Cincinnati. Cincinnati coming for you. Yeah, I am. I've studied this. Trust me. This is my my death march over here. My trail of tears. Houston, Dallas, New York, Philly, Boston, DC, and finally Atlanta, and then also Phoenix, our home city, of course. So we're going to be there. That's our list of cities. I believe you might have one added or possibly one taken away. Who knows before
Denver?
It comes out. Denver also.
You're goddamn
I am sorry.
right,
Denver also. Denver been one of our top listener cities for so long. We've been dying to come to Denver.
We're going to reward
we can't wait
you
to see you,
it.
Denver. Yes, and I am going to have a blast in Denver.
That's my favorite city.
It's going to be one of mine. I'll tell you that right now. I enjoy Denver.
I got a lot of friends there, James. So I will not be buying weed from teenagers' ball bags.
No, you won't be buying it from a store like an adult.
Or
I'll just buy it from a store.
Or a friend will just bring it to me and say, "Give this to James."
That's also acceptable. We do accept donations. You can't give us that on PayPal.
You give it to James. Leave me out of this illegal. Wait a minute.
Oh, never mind.
That is legal here.
Here you go. Never mind all that, though. Let's get to our crazy story.
Yeah.
Because it's an interesting story this week. It's a wild story, guy from different background that not a story that's expected in any way. And it's weird because it's a story that you've seen the guy. I know you have. And you never would have thought any of this happened. I never heard about it. It's Olden Polynice. Remember Olden Polynice? Yeah, you remember Olden Polynice.
He's an ugly man.
He is on every list of top 20 ugliest athletes. Right. He's always in the top 10.
Absolutely.
He's not Otis Nixon.
Forward.
Yeah, he's not Otis Nixon ugly.
Right.
Let's not get crazy here.
I didn't realize he was a dick.
Oh, he's a nice guy and he's a dick.
He looks so charming.
I swear to God, he is twins.
Really?
He is twin people who have done different things in the world and haven't admitted to it yet. I swear to God, he's two people.
Fucked over from birth. That's a terrible name.
Well, he also had other problems from birth, as we're going to get into here. Yeah, he didn't start out. You wouldn't have seen him as a child, as like say a 5-year-old, and went, well, that's going to be a professional basketball player there. Let's talk about him here. Olden Polynice, old OP himself, as a basketball player, NBA player for many, many years, as we'll talk about, through the 90s into the early 2000s, even the late 80s.
Did he play for the Magic?
No, he did not play for the Magic.
He played for the Pistons,
he played for a shitload of teams.
I know
briefly
he bounced
for Detroit,
around everywhere.
Yeah, Sacramento, the Clippers, all over the Utah. He was everywhere.
I just saw him in a Magic jersey. Maybe it's because he is so black. That man was. He is like Jurgen's top fucking customer.
Yeah, he is. He's
man.
I believe his elbows have a touch of the ash, I would imagine, and he's got a problem controlling that.
He was a very black man.
Well, he's from Haiti.
He's
Haitian. There you go.
That makes sense.
Yes, he is Port-au-Prince, Haiti. He's from.
I never read the back of his basketball card.
No, you never did.
Because I was never interested enough to give a fuck.
He's not a guy that you're like, man, he's dominating out there. Like, you have to be like a kind of a fan of whatever team he's playing for to really appreciate what Olden brought to the floor. He was a hustle guy. He'd elbow and fight. And if you were a fan of the Kings, if you were one of those 12, 13 people that call themselves Kings fans in Sacramento, sorry, Sacramento.
Or a fan of the Pistons after they were good.
After they were good, that sort of thing, of the decline of the Piston empire, then you've seen him and you probably appreciated his game.
Otherwise, you open your upper deck pack and you go, fuck, I got Olden
Polynice. It's not even a rookie. Garbage. And you fling it across the room.
This was worth a nickel.
Jesus, that's an ugly man, and you throw it away. I'm not keeping that. So he was born November 21st, 1964.
They should have used Flash on this card.
What happened? Jesus. Can't find you. No, he's not Otis Nixon ugly.
No.
Let's not get crazy. He doesn't look like a shrunken head.
He's Xavier McDaniel ugly.
Yeah, he's uglier than that. He's
but I mean like on that kind of...
Yeah, he's I'd call him Bill Walton ugly. He's that level. Like, I feel like him and Bill Walton, if they had a beauty contest, it'd be close. It'd be a split decision, I feel like.
Well, he's got that stupid afro thing, but Polynice uses a shitload of lotion. So
he does. Well, Bill Walton's a goofy bastard. So I'm talking not Bill Walton now. He's like 70. Bill Walton in his playing days, just a goofy bastard.
For the fucking Blazers. He was an ugly son of a
great
bitch.
Player, and an awful commentator. Just god awful. God,
it's
I can't
because
stand
he's got to fight through that fucking mouth of his.
It's his
Words
voice.
got to somehow get out of that cesspool trap that he's got.
Jesus Christ. Well, let's talk about Olden here. Born in Port-au-Prince, Haiti. He was born with physical disabilities.
Get out of here.
He was unable to walk until he was 4.
My Christ.
From disabilities with his leg. He was like Forrest Gump, basically.
Really?
Like he had leg difficulties where he was unable to walk. He was physically disabled.
Credit to Haiti for having the medical ability to take care of this guy.
It's incredible. Yeah, he was in Haiti while he was completely immobile. He says that he was born with, quote, both of my feet basically turn inward.
Wow.
So he was born pretty fucked up, and they said he wasn't able to walk. Doctors said that he couldn't do anything else early on, and their solution wasn't, well, wait, there's a surgery we can do. Their solution was, let's wait and see what happens. They literally were like, let's see if he outgrows it.
Maybe he'll heal.
They just stood around and went, yeah, his feet are all fucked up. Well, let's wait.
I am shocked.
Coffee? Anybody?
I give Haiti less credit for their medical abilities than let's see if it works.
Let's see if it works. Yeah, at least they didn't throw leeches on him,
right?
Or hack it off and try to sew it back on with some voodoo chant or something.
I'm shocked when he's born with his toes touching that they weren't just like, oh, this one's clearly no good, and just throw it in a bin somewhere.
Take it by the ankle and smash his head against the wall a few times, and then throw it in the bad one bins.
Right.
Just a bin of bad ones.
Well, they look at his mom and just go, what were you gonna do with it.
What were you going to do, huh?
As if it was going to help you do anything.
Walk around like a duck for the rest of its life. It wasn't going to help you with shit. So no, he said, the doctors just said, well, I guess we'll wait a while, which doesn't seem like the best medical advice. Usually, I don't know.
Bizarre.
It's interesting.
I don't want to get cancer in Haiti, apparently.
No, they're going to go, we're going to take you know what? Sometimes tumors go away on their own.
Maybe that's why AIDS is so high in Haiti, because they're like, maybe it'll go away.
They have a real wait and see attitude with major diseases, childhood problems. They're just like, we'll check it out. We'll wait and see.
They're copying our military personnel of hurry up and wait, and translating that to medical shit.
Yeah, just like, I just picture them waiting while he's just sitting there like, we're going to wait, and then just crossing their arms.
And just staring at a clock.
How long? Yeah, just months go by.
A clock. I'm giving Haiti a lot of leeway as if they've got a clock.
You didn't say it was set to the right time. You said it was a clock.
It's a broken one.
You can get a clock somewhere.
Try twice a day. Yeah. What do you want from us?
I mean, we send over World Series loser T-shirts and shit. I'm sure we have broken clocks.
They probably swaddled him up in a fucking...
that's so sad. Sorry, Haiti. Haiti's been through enough shit. Haiti they had and still have a huge problem with HIV, and then on top of that, every goddamn hurricane that comes through fucking engulfs their entire island and knocks out their power, and they have to rebuild, and another one comes through, knocks it out. So I feel if there's ever a place that gets the shit end of the stick, I would say it's fucking Haiti.
Definitely Haiti.
And they don't need us making fun of them more, but I'm sure we will. I'm sure something else will come up, and when it does, we're gonna hit it.
I
so
am
sorry,
blown
Haiti.
away by this already. Olden Polynice, he's 4 months old already, and we found out so much about him
that we never knew. I never knew. I would have never said, I think that guy's a Haitian who was born with fucked up feet.
Wasn't he born deformed?
I believe he was born unable to walk for several years. That's not the thing. He said eventually his feet were broken and reset, is what they did. So they essentially did the medical procedure where they broke his feet and then tried to set them right.
In Haiti, that medical personnel is just using a Louisville.
Yeah, I was going to say, or a hammer. He's got a ball peen hammer, and he's like, hold him down, and he just starts fucking wailing away on him.
Do it in your living room.
Yeah, that's it. In a living room, in the kids' room, the kids' room if they have a room.
It's one room.
In the kids' room, the living room.
The living /
There we go.
toilet
And see, we hit Haiti once again. So he said he gradually gained the use of his lower limbs, but this was, he was unable to do anything for the first 4 or 5 years of his life at all.
Fucking crazy.
2 years of which he had both legs in casts. Well, they healed because he couldn't do anything. Jeez. He just had to sit there because he had both of his legs in big casts.
Pray to Christ a tsunami doesn't come and where he's going to need to swim.
He's going to see his casts floating by while he's drowned underneath.
Those things are going to hold him down.
Or that's true. They're going to get soaked and turn into cement. You're going to see luckily, he's tall as shit.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
Water doesn't have to be that high.
He's 4 years old and 9 feet tall already.
No shit. So he said it was really tough. He said he remembers it still, which is interesting. He still remembers that early time.
Well, yeah.
He said, quote, "It was the weirdest thing. I remember my dad carrying me. We couldn't afford a wheelchair. Yeah. Even at that young age, I still have images of that. My mom has pictures of it. I remember my mom used to rub oil on my legs and massage them. That was basically the therapy." So in Haiti, they wait a while and then rub some oil on it. And then your broken feet are going to heal and you'll be able to walk and eventually play in the NBA. Right. And you know what? It worked. That's the fucked up part.
Fucking worked.
The fucked up part. We can make fun of it all we want, but this man has way more money than we'll ever make. So it's, we don't know if it's.
Did they say if it was snake oil?
I'm sure it was. This is genuine. Some genuine, authentic Haitian snake oil. This is the good stuff. Been blessed by a voodoo witch doctor and everything. There you go.
It regrows legs and shit.
If I cut your feet off, new ones will grow that will be straighter. Right. That's how it works. It's every time.
These will give your legs an alignment. Have you been to the shop lately? These do that.
These do that. He said his 4th birthday, everything changed. He said he began to walk slowly, and he progressed after that. He said until his legs got stronger. He says, if you want me to do something, just tell me I can't. Yeah. He's one of these guys, and he'll do it. That's one of those guys.
What a douchey thing
So someone at some point said, hey, don't you dare get arrested a bunch of times. And he went, I will fuck up in multiple different ways. Wait till you see.
Do exactly that, sir.
I will spread my unhappiness throughout public, private sector, everywhere you want to do it.
To have any sort of criminal career after that start is just fucking crazy.
You should be so thankful that you're A, walking, B, walking well enough to be a professional athlete in a well-paid, seriously well-paid industry, as good as it gets for professional athletes.
I had a card
the NBA
that said Fleer in the corner with your fucking face on it. Why are you?
Someone put your ugly mug on a basketball card. That says that you've made it somewhere, because no one wants your picture otherwise.
Honestly,
children weren't afraid of your picture. That's how good of a basketball player you are.
Those pictures that your mom has of you as a baby has pictures of a child's broken legs and not your face. And that's how ugly you are.
And all the mirrors are broken in the background.
She'd rather have pictures of a toddler's fucking broken ass legs than your face.
Your face.
That's how much of a monster you are.
He would have been an ugly baby, I'm sure. Even think of Otis Nixon as a baby. That's an ugly fucking baby that looks like it's 75 years old.
Olden had giant gums and
he wasn't an attractive man.
Nothing was proportioned on his head.
No, that's why I say he's a Bill Walton equivalent, because I feel like
they seem to line up.
Everything is all misshapen and missized, and
weird.
It looks like somebody took one of those fucking kid games where you stick different noses on faces and together, and they lined up 3 wrong ones: eyes, nose, mouth, and that's wrong. That's definitely wrong.
Maybe that's why he committed so many crimes, because that fucking Build-A-Sketch thing would never knock his face out of the park.
They were like, we can't figure this out at all.
Do you see what they built? There's no fucking way.
Throw it up in the air and it lands at random, and they're like, there it is. That's the one.
That's the guy.
These mismatched things. He says that he remembers these things, and that's what gives him positive thinking. He says, quote, I never looked past it. It made me what I am. My disability didn't define me. It just actually enhanced me. They moved to the United States at the age of 7. Well, he was at 7, as his parents weren't.
Everybody else was older.
Everybody else was older. He's the second of 5 children.
Okay.
So he's the second oldest, and so his parents and 5 kids came from Haiti to the U.S. at 7. He was shy, which makes sense because he couldn't do anything.
I would never place my penis inside of another woman with the opportunity of having a child if one of my children came out with those legs.
Yeah.
Never.
And he had 3 more.
Yeah.
They had 3 more. They were like,
wrong with that
let's
guy?
roll it again.
Right.
This is a gambler.
We got snake eyes, baby. Let's do it again.
He said, come here, blow on it. Right. We're going to try again.
Out of his mind. Did you see fuck his legs?
Did you see his fucking feet? Jesus Christ, yeah. I never...
Did you see his face and feet from top to bottom? That kid's a fucking mess.
You could turn him upside down either way. It doesn't matter.
It's always a mess.
It's always going to be wrong. It's like a fucking Rubik's Cube that you can never figure out.
No, one of our seed is not good.
It's not happening.
We're not doing this.
They wanted to throw him in the bad bin. Do you know that?
Do you remember that?
The one was just bad ones written
bad ones in fucking marker in a Sharpie.
Just a not even like a thick one, just a bad ones. And I think ones had an apostrophe on it, which it shouldn't have. So that made it even weirder, but that's how much they didn't care about these children.
Point.
They didn't
Jesus.
care at all. So they
even wasted a good Sharpie on these bad ones.
No, that's it. They said, fuck it. It was running out of ink. They're like, it has one more right left in it. Don't worry about it. Lick it. It's fine. Throw it in the bad ones bin when you're done. Olden Polynice.
Jesus Christ.
Olden Polynice. As much worth as a bad Sharpie.
He is taking a beating already.
He is taking a beating already. And he does some nice things, too, which are...
Throw the pen on top of the pen.
There you go. They have equal value to us. It's just to show.
Oh, Jesus.
To show you that. So they said he was shy when he was little, when he first moved to the U.S., which makes sense if you're a kid who was in casts and couldn't do anything or play or do anything here.
He has no social skills. He hasn't been around anybody.
They did say that. So he's just nice. That's his social skills. He's just super nice.
It's in his fucking name.
Tries to. Yeah. Hey, it is. Look at that. He's poly nice.
Multiple nice.
He's poly not nice, as we'll see from this thing here.
Right.
They said he adjusted well when he came to the U.S. Because, I mean, at 7, you can bounce around and bounce. I moved around a lot when I was a little kid. You bounce, you do it, you figure it out. But for a kid from another country, had to learn English and shit like that. That's brutal. I spoke everywhere I moved. Everyone spoke English, so it was pretty simple.
That's a good point.
So for him, it had to be hard. Plus, he has to. If you're a kid like that, you still think you're weird from being on the cast on your leg and not being able to do anything. These kids don't know that, but in your brain, I would think you would still have like some sort of self-doubt.
Well, when I went to school, the first day of school, I went with the giant cast on my arm from
your arm,
my hand, and kids treated me different. Like I was because it wasn't a broken arm cast; it was like the whole thing.
Yeah, that sucks.
From shoulder to top.
If you just had the elbow to wrist, then that's everyone's
cool
like, "Cool,
kid.
what happened? You fell off a dirt bike, awesome!" And they want to sign it. Like you did something cool to get that. It's not sad.
It's funny that with kids, like you want to hear the story. With adults, the story is never as funny.
Yeah, they had a tumor removed or some shit. It's a different thing.
It's never as funny as seeing a grown adult in a cast.
No.
Like, that's fucking hysterical.
Yeah, when you see an adult, it's always a sad story. Though. It's always either sad, like some sort of cancer treatment, or it's pathetic. Like
I jumped on a trampoline and I'm 43.
What were you doing? Well, I tried to do a layup in my driveway, and my leg snapped in half when I came down. That's what happened. No, not even playing wasn't against anybody.
No, it was just me.
Just me.
I was done working on the car, and I was like, oh, look, the kids left the ball out. I'm going to make a layup. Fuck.
911. Next thing you know.
Somebody call an ambulance.
911, please. Somebody carry me off my driveway. His parents were super strict. Very, very, very strict parents. Like, he was not allowed to do shit. He went from school until home, and he was to study until bedtime. They would give him shit to study if he ran out of homework.
Okay.
So, I mean, he was like, that's it. From 3 to 9, he was studying, staying home, not allowed to run the streets, not allowed to do anything, which is good because they lived, I can't tell where, because they always say he's from Harlem, but he goes to school in the South Bronx. The way Harlem works, the way Manhattan works, is it runs into the South Bronx. Right. There's a river, so you see it, but they're very close together. So I don't know if they moved back and forth across or whatever. But
it's gotta be culture shock for him too, going from fucking Haiti to New York City.
To New York. Luckily, if you're going to back then, even if you're living in Harlem, that wasn't. I'm sure there was more a Haitian population, but like Spanish Harlem then was still half Italian, because that was the Italians originally had Spanish Harlem, and then they
that
moved out.
Sense.
So every shithole place, we came first, and then everybody else came after, and then they can dig their way out. No, I'm just kidding.
There's pizza down there.
It's shit.
Go.
Yeah, it's a little more different. It's a little different now, but but still, it was the shit area. But I don't know if I'm not sure if there was if there was a Haitian population in 1971 as much as big of a one, or if it was just just black guys who were like, you talk funny, motherfucker. I don't know. I'm not sure how that happened.
Never mind. Go on.
He's like, I'm going to say something terrible.
I'm going to fucking move out of
and
that.
It's going to be an accident, and then
I would have sounded like a complete dick.
Yeah, that's good. Good. So
anyway,
he didn't complain about his parents' discipline. He didn't know any better. Yeah. So he didn't know, like in America, kids cut up and shit. Like he was just like, that's what everybody does. They go home and study all night, which obviously wasn't happening. He didn't really socialize, didn't hang around the playgrounds. He wasn't a kid who was playing basketball around the playgrounds all the time. He eventually went to All Hallows High, which is in the South Bronx. Apparently it's an all boys Catholic school, which is pretty close to Yankee Stadium in the South Bronx, which I can tell you is not a nice neighborhood.
No.
And in the 70s was even
way worse.
Fucking worse. And 1979, 80, that was like the peak of badness. It was
you almost
terrible.
rather be in Haiti.
Yeah. No, I remember going to Yankee games in the 80s as a kid, and it was like, dude, those neighborhoods, if the garage was full and you had to park like just in the fucking South Bronx down the street somewhere, that was frightening at midnight. It seriously was. It was like, it was worse than The Wire. Like it made Baltimore on The Wire look wonderful. You're like, where's Omar? He seems charming with that shotgun, because everyone else here is scary as fuck.
And now that I've ridden, I understand creepy people, because I mean, just in Phoenix alone, there's weird people here.
Yeah.
But when you think about crazy in your town,
this was just
and
crack
you know somebody,
times, 80s South Bronx. So everyone at midnight it was all crackheads and junkies. Just that's all it was.
New York is so big and has so many people. The craziest person in your town, multiply that by 100, and that's the average person.
That's
in
just
New York.
your average crazy.
Your
Not your average person, but your average crazy guy.
Yeah.
Your average walking down the street, raving, ranting, and raving that you avoid.
Carrying a newspaper and his dick's poked through it. It's
that
fucking
sort of
bananas.
And he's going, say hi.
Right.
Everybody say hi. The sun's coming out. The sun's coming out. People People are like, oh, God, don't look at it.
It's fucking weird.
Susie, cover your eyes.
Right.
So, his mother is a housekeeper and his father's a taxi driver.
Okay.
So that's they're working hard. Yeah. They brought 5 kids from a country to here, and that's hard work.
And that's how they're going to survive in New York City.
In the 70s, and that's rough, man. Yeah. He was 6'4" when he went to high school.
Wow.
But he still never played basketball.
Really?
Never picked up a basketball. Knew nothing about it. Didn't know shit. All the other kids who were 14 years old were like, holy shit, you're humongous.
Right.
Why do you want to play basketball? Will you be on my team?
Right.
And he's like, I don't know how to play basketball, which is,
let me tell you,
super weird.
Basketball requires legs. Let me tell you about how fragile mine are. Like, I had an operation in Haiti that required a true value product.
That's it. That was all it is.
These legs are not
and
built for this.
And a possible destination of a bin.
Right.
So I've lived through a lot already. I don't know about this.
I'd rather not chance the opportunity of coming down from a rebound and my legs exploding.
And me walking around on nubs.
Right.
Because when he's grown up, he's 6'11".
Jesus
Christ. You can go from 6'11" to about 5'10" pretty quick when he's walking around on leg
in
stumps.
one jump.
Yeah, just he's going to need the cast then. I wonder if his dad can still carry him around. I doubt it. Hopefully he'd be able to afford a wheelchair by now.
Right.
So they tried, they basically were like, you should play basketball. Here's a basketball. Yeah. Come play basketball. That was it. Yeah. And the coaches saw him and they were like, fuck, yeah, we
need you.
Figure that. This kid needs to make him figure out how to play basketball because he's goddamn big and he's still growing.
And he's fucking terrifying looking.
And look at him. Yeah, he's just going to frighten everybody down low. He's going to get all the rebounds.
Every one of them.
People are going to go, it's going to be like Teen Wolf.
Somebody else will come down with the ball and give it to him.
That's it. Here you go, sir.
I got this for you.
That's it. That's it, man. He initially, when he was a child, when he moved there, his parents instilled in him, and he wanted to be a lawyer. That's what he always wanted to be.
Yeah.
He wanted to be a lawyer. To them, that was an important person, a professional person. They dressed up in a suit and drove a nice car.
It's going to be an expensive
had an office.
suit, buddy.
It is, but
fucking big you
tailor-made, baby.
God, Jesus.
So maybe that's why he decided against it.
I would for sure.
Oh, definitely. But the coach here, a guy named John Carey, he's got several silver-haired middle-aged white men in this story. John Carey being his first silver-haired middle-aged white man. Didn't do anything bad or anything, but this Carey, got him on the basketball team and wanted to, help bring him along and help nurture his abilities and shit like that. And once he did, Olden loved basketball because it was kind of easy for him. He was bigger than the other kids. Yeah. And he wasn't really good at it at first, but he tried and he played.
He's the coach's favorite person because they fucking need him.
He's a project too, and they like a project like that. Like, oh, look at him come along. Because other kids, they come along over time. A kid who's never picked up a basketball before,
their progression is fast.
It's leaps and bounds. Yeah. It's going to be like if you see a kid, once every 3 months, you're going to be like, holy shit, that kid grows fast. It's like, no, he grows normal. You just don't see him all the time. It's condensed.
He's a cookie cutter of like what they need. It's almost as if there was a cookie cutter that was just cranking out high school shapes for centers. Yeah, he's it.
He's it, and also he's also known as a nice kid, and he's very coachable, and he'll do what's asked of him, and he's just happy to be doing this. So
he's from fucking Haiti.
Yeah, he's thrilled to be walking and not in Haiti. So he's like, I'm walking on the ground in the United States. I'm up 2 already.
I made it.
So this is 3 here. This is gold. This is all just gravy. So he ended up playing. He said that the only job he had ever had before, outside of basketball later on, was in high school. He had a job working at McDonald's for a little while, and he said he quit after a week.
That a boy.
Which is understandable because it's McDonald's.
Because it's fucking horrible.
Punching over a fryer doesn't seem like a good job for a giant person.
Jesus.
Yeah, that sounds terrible.
I'm surprised they didn't have him just pushing up the false ceiling and cleaning up there.
Because this was when he was like 16, so he was probably 6'8" by then. Who the hell wants to? Yeah, just push up the acoustics. Yeah. Just there's going to be tons of shit in there. There's going to be needles
Nobody's
and crack pipes and shit.
Nobody's ever been able to reach that. We need your help.
Just crackheads and chairs. That's it. None of us have cared.
And looking up to order from that fucking guy, I'm sure he got horrified looks with his face and how tall he is.
Like, Jesus, you're making my cheeseburger? Never mind. Holy fuck. His parents didn't like basketball at first. Really? They were like, no. But which is funny that they didn't want him to even participate in an extracurricular activity that's like school based around the school.
Exactly.
You would think that they would be all into that but they said, nope, that's time away from studying. But once the coach talked to him, he learned that you can get college scholarships from playing basketball. And the coach said, hey, you're a big kid. You never know. And then the parents allowed him to play based on the fact that this is another avenue. He put it like, well, there's school and then there's that. Like I have two prongs of being able to get into college then. And they said, good enough. They just wanted him to go to college. He said, quote, I learned how to play basketball in a few months. From the day I touched a basketball to the NBA, it was 7 years. That's unheard of.
That's unbelievable.
That's pretty amazing. That's like, I think Akeem Olajuwon had a similar path because he was a soccer goalie.
Yeah, but he was also
and they gave him a basketball
protege.
He really was.
He was so far away from here.
He's also shit. Yeah, that's true. Plus, he was such a Olajuwon's a special kind of athlete. He's a different kind of guy. Like I've never seen a man that tall and lanky be that smooth and silky and like control of everything.
So skinny and still so athletic
and strong and in control of his body. Like he was so lanky and wiry, but everything was in total
creative.
control.
Like
he was so cool.
He had a hook like nobody.
Oh, he'd do that pivot underneath and just go underneath you and come up under. He was so
looking
good.
At the basket, not even his hand. His hand is like
nasty.
4 feet above his fucking head because he was so long.
Olajuwon was so nasty.
So good.
He'll have a run-in with Olajuwon,
He was a three-point shooter, too. Olajuwon could hit threes.
That was not good. Not well.
No.
He shouldn't have been trying.
But he could, and that's fucking ridiculous.
Luckily, he wasn't like it. Him and Manute Bull, for some reason, felt the need to every once in a while throw up this weird, awkward shot from out there.
Just
and you're like,
a question if he's going to do it.
At least Olajuwon's looked like a basketball shot. Manute Bull's was like, what the fuck? What is that? It looked like he just, like they picked a guy out of the crowd and he goes, I never played basketball before. And they said, that's okay, throw it that way. And he goes, okay. And he just tossed it up.
It's like the guy that gets that half-court halftime shot for the car.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what Manute Bull looked like, except they'd sign him up because he was 7 foot.
And they put a jersey on that fucking guy.
Yeah, let's do it. So in his first 2 high school seasons, he scored a total of 18 points.
That makes sense.
So which makes perfect sense. These are kids that have been playing since they're 5, most of them probably. They're going to school you and make you feel bad about yourself, I would assume. Talk a bunch of shit.
Right.
Plus, this is in New York City. In the 80s, he's playing in New York City, or in the late 70s. That's some shit talking times right there. Like that's.
But he probably is the board and block guy back then.
He is. He's the heart guy. Yeah. He's the go get that board, die for that ball, play, just D that guy up.
Yeah.
D him up, and he's all effort. He'll do anything. He never runs out of energy, Polynice. He's one of these guys, a huge guy that never runs out of energy. He says that he placed an equal emphasis on academics and basketball, and that's what his coach also said, Carey. He said, quote, I think he was only absent for 2 or 3 days his whole time here. No teachers ever came to me because he was giving them trouble. So just no problem there at all. He had a B plus average by his junior year and was starting to become a good basketball player. In his last 2 seasons there, he scored 1,053 points. Total, which is great. Yeah. That's really good for 2 seasons of a high school.
1,000 points?
1,000 points in two years.
That's amazing.
The first 2 years he did nothing, and then junior year comes out and just
does it.
Explodes. Yeah. He just figured it out or came into his body a little bit.
He learned basketball.
Yeah. And I think you come into your body when you're a teenager too. When you're getting taller, all of a sudden you figure out, how to get control of your legs.
Probably the first 2 years it was really awkward to run with all that pubic hair down there.
Just a
And then by
giant,
the 3rd year, he's like, oh, this isn't so bad.
He goes, I can do it. Once he got taller, it's physics.
It's spread out a bit.
It's physics.
Otherwise,
so the weight
it's just
of it's
a bunch
spread.
Of hair mushed together.
And then it's heavy. You spread it out. That's how it works. It's all physics, Jimmy. Jesus Christ. It's the physics of pubes. You didn't know that? That's one of the things you learn on Crime and Sports that you're going to learn on no other podcast is the physics of pubes. That's never been discussed before, I don't believe.
And a large black man getting used to the size of his junk.
That's all. He's got to get used to it, man. It's got to get used to it.
All right.
So he tried to just use it as a belt the first couple of years, and he said that wasn't working, so he said, never mind. Yeah. So he ended up being the All Hallows team captain and MVP as a senior.
Wow.
So he went from, I don't know what's this bouncy thing that's round to 4 years later being
the best kid in the school.
The best basketball player they have. He was named one of 5 athletes for Better Education / New York Knickerbocker Scholar Athletes.
I love that.
That's, for smart, good athletes. Right. He had, according to the Athletes for Better Education thing, quote, he had an 88 plus average and turned into a good player when we cited him. But I'll tell you, I was more confident about him hacking it as a student at Virginia than I was about his basketball.
All right.
That is because he agrees to go to Virginia to play basketball in college.
Okay.
But they said they were more confident about him being a good student than even a basketball player. That's what a good kid he is.
He wanted to be a lawyer.
They wanted to be a lawyer, and his parents will kick his goddamn ass if he blows the opportunity to get a degree from this whole thing. Although
break your shins.
They have other shit to kick his ass for later on.
Okay.
So he's 16 there. He was playing for a summer league team in New York City known as Riverside Church. Kenny Smith was on that team.
Is that right?
Ex-Houston Rocket, current, I think he's still a broadcaster for TNT or some shit like that. Also a guy who ended up going to Georgia Tech that he played against. At that time, he was 16. He was 6'8", and he was a center. And they said he was a little soft though. He had no killer instinct yet. Okay. They said he got dunked on a lot. He got elbowed in the face. People push him around.
Wow.
People pushed him around. That's how you played.
Dunked on a 6'8" dude.
Yeah, you had to. If he's not going to be aggressive, if you're going to back him down, if he, then he'll do it. So they labeled him, quote, the gentle giant on that team, which is not what you want to be as a center. So he has to toughen up a little bit, which is so funny because he ends up being the complete opposite of that. A guy that's like, first of all, you can't hurt his face with an elbow.
No.
So he'll elbow you right back after a while.
Got nothing to lose.
No, yeah, he's got nothing to lose. That's not a face to elbow. It's like elbowing an Easter Island statue covered in silly putty. It's like, what's the fucking difference? It's just smooth it right out. It's fine.
Behind the closed doors of government offices and military compounds, there are hidden stories and buried secrets from the darkest corners of history. From covert experiments pushing the boundaries of science to operations so secretive they were barely whispered about. Each week, on Redacted, Declassified Mysteries, we pull back the curtain on these hidden histories. 100% true and verifiable stories that expose the shadowy underbelly of power. Consider Operation Paperclip, where former Nazi scientists were brought to America after World War II, not as prisoners, but as assets to advance U.S. intelligence during the Cold War. These aren't just old conspiracy theories. They're thoroughly investigated accounts that reveal the uncomfortable truths still shaping our world today. The stories are real. The secrets are shocking. Follow Redacted, Declassified Mysteries on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Redacted early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
Everyone out there should listen to Small Town Murder. You really should, mainly because you never know who's next door. And that's the point of this show, really. You never know who is next door. You never know what's going to happen on Small Town Murder. That's what makes it so wonderful. The only thing you do know is that people are going to die, and we're probably going to make jokes about it. That's it. That's all we can promise you. We dig into these towns. We see what makes them tick, from local legends to scandals they may have had. And, of course, the biggest scandals of all, horrible murders that take place there. And we put what I feel is a completely appropriate comedic spin on the whole thing. And you know you need a laugh right now. So get in there, listen to Small Town Murder, follow Small Town Murder on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can listen to Small Town Murder early and ad-free right now on Wondery Plus.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, if you like this show that you're listening to here, Crime and Sports, then check out the Steve Austin Show each Tuesday and Thursday exclusively on Podcast One. Join the Pro Wrestling Hall of Famer and action movie star as he shares tales from his new life, unbelievable past adventures, and covers all the happenings in the pro wrestling world. So don't miss the Steve Austin Show each week on Podcast One. And also, remember to rate and review.
And now back to the show.
83-84 season is when he first goes to college. It's his freshman year at Virginia. He's studying English while he's there as his major.
Good call.
Which is a good call if that's not your first language.
From fucking Haiti.
He actually has to, Also, too, he has aspirations of writing later on we'll talk about and shit like that. So he's interested in English. He arrives right after he arrives the year Ralph Sampson left. Okay. So Ralph Sampson just left, who was the number one pick in the 83 NBA draft.
Really?
And then he comes in the next year to be his replacement, which is tough. He's the replacement of the greatest player we've ever had. Mm-hmm. And now what are you going to do? Mm-hmm. Not that. Fuck, I'll tell you. Yeah, no thanks.
Remember how we used to have the best player? Now you're going to be the best player.
I tell you, I didn't walk till I was 4. Did I know anything about that? Because that's, that could be a factor.
No matter how I do here, always rested on the fact that I was almost in the bad ones.
Almost in. I mean, dude, they literally were like, nah. They had me by an ankle. Sure, yeah. They had me by an ankle next to the hard wall.
They threw me towards it, but a nurse caught me.
And then she was like, "No, this one's not terrible. We can fix it. We'll break his feet and fix him."
The nurse grabbed me in midair and said, "Let's wait a minute.
He's too ugly. He's too ugly for the bad bin. He'll give a bad name to it."
Is there a worse bin? We need that one.
Is there just a bin is there a bin that has like a tarp that goes over it? Because this bin is open on top. We can see it. No one wants to see it.
There's a Sharpie in here.
Yeah, is there like a bin, like a mail thing where we put it in and close it, and then we can't see it if we open it again? It's just a block.
The baby disappears.
It disappears down in there, and it's a federal offense if you stick your arm in. So this Virginia team had Rick Carlisle.
Okay.
This player goes on to be Tim Mullen. I don't know if that's Chris Mullen's relation or not.
That rings a bell, though.
I didn't know
who that is.
I mean, Chris Mullen's a great player, we know, and he played for St. John's and is from New York City. I don't know if his brother. I don't know if he had a brother that played though at this time or not. And also a guy, I just love his name. His name's Othell. Othell Wilson.
You bet.
That's tough. They forgot the O on the end of it. It's Othello minus the O.
Right.
So his freshman year, he doesn't play a whole lot in his freshman year. I mean, minutes wise, they play him more than you'd think, but he doesn't have the impact you might think. He's just kind of there. He plays in 33 games, 25 games started, has 26.2 minutes a game. So that's a lot. That's not bad. But he only has 7.7 points per game, 5.6 rebounds. Even blocks is only half a block a game.
Really?
So for a center, he's still kind of soft and quiet and easygoing and passive.
But he's starting.
He's starting. And he's supposed to be replacing Ralph Sampson.
Right. Yeah. And he's coming out of high school where it's an entirely different thing. College kids, like the difference between high school and college is the difference between college and fucking NBA.
And especially then.
Right.
Now it's a little different because the good players are only there for a year, and then everybody else is going to sell car insurance at some point later on in the future. But they're going to sell you some fucking blinds or some shit.
The rest of the people are there to bide their time between and bridge the gap between them being in school and then them calling you and saying that you owe the IRS money.
That's exactly right. So that's pretty much what it is. Otherwise, Then, though, these teams were stocked with future NBA players because everybody played at least 3 years, if not 4.
Right.
So these teams were stocked. I mean, you look at like this Houston team from this era, even the Virginia team, the North Carolina team that Worthy and Jordan and all these guys, like that doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
You get one decent player on a team, and then he's gone, and then maybe another one comes if you're lucky, if you're like Duke or Kentucky or something.
Right. But, college, that ring meant so much to these kids. That national championship, like even
plus there was rules about how long you had to stay at college and shit like that. Yeah,
they had all 4 too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. A lot of the guys did.
Georgetown,
a lot of the guys did. Yeah, Fuck, I used to love when I was like 4. I used to watch those games.
Georgetown versus North Carolina was rad.
Oh, that was great. All those those games were all awesome because Houston was huge. They had Olajuwon and they were awesome.
And it's because they would be able to develop a fucking player and
you had them for 4 years.
I can't imagine being somebody in charge of a college program now with the one and done shit.
The last guy who did the whole 4 years came into the NBA ready to be a star. That was Tim Duncan, and that was 20 fucking years ago.
That's great.
Tim Duncan
retired already.
Tim Duncan played for Wake Forest. I remember for junior year they were like, "Oh, he's coming out, right?" And they were shocked. He stayed, and he ended up still being the #1 draft pick.
Yeah.
And he was ready for the NBA when he came in. He was 22. His body was ready for the NBA.
Fucked up, that jerk.
And he's a pretty clean cut. He's not going to be on this show more than less. I would love it if Tim Duncan out of nowhere
just murdered his wife.
Not only his wife. Like I want him to have a dinner party and end up killing all of them like Vlad the Impaler. Like there's just 14 dinner guests on steaks in his front yard when the police pull up, and he's just sitting there. He's just sitting there eating the remains of the barbecue they made. Just like munching on shit going, "How you doing?"
And he calls Coach Pop to sort it out instead.
Yeah, wearing his dog's head as a hat.
Right.
Like a yarmulke.
And he's petting it when they come in.
Howdy. With a burger in the other hand. Want a burger? They're hot still.
Right.
So, yeah.
No, nobody else ate, you guys. You're here just in time. There's so much left over.
So, Virginia that year, 21-12, which is good enough to go to the tournament, and you wouldn't think it would be a big deal. They're a number 7 seed, even in the tournament, so not a big deal, but they win in the first round versus Iona, number 10 seed. They win 58-57. So it's a squeaker. It doesn't matter. Yeah. That's why. They beat number 2 seed Arkansas in the next round, 53-51. So he is right. Then they beat number 3 seed Syracuse. So they're not even beating like people who made upsets. They're beating all the top seeds
They
here.
are the upsetters.
Yeah, they're 63-55. Then they end up beating Indiana in their heyday with, Bobby Knight and everything like that, 50-48.
My Christ.
Yeah, and going all the way to the Final Four. And in the Final Four, they lose to Houston, which was Akeem Olajuwon and all those guys who eventually, they lose 49-47 too. They didn't even get blown out. That's a 49-47. Can anyone shoot a fucking basket? Jesus Christ, man. I get good defense, but for the love of fucking God. 49-4, that's like a girls, that's girls high school basketball. That's not 7 foot tall men in a, that are going to be paid for it next year.
And you've got 4 years to develop these fuckers to score. Get them to score, goddamn.
Well, and these are the best there is, which is crazy. And then
I do like watching the Final Four and the March Madness. Exciting. Watching those balls bounce out when they're in the NBA, those shits go in every time.
If you leave a guy any space at all, he's nailing every fucking
watching
jumper.
March Madness, watching them miss, it's
wide open,
hysterical,
clang, and they all run for it. It's exciting, but it's also like watching a game at the park. It's the same type of thing.
It's hilarious.
It's like a good rec league game. That's what it's like. like a good one where it's got like old men who used to play college ball playing against each other. Those are better games than most college basketball games now. And I would take those old men over those guys.
They should be drafted
half
first.
court though, not full court. They'll drop dead.
Fuck that.
Well, actually, they might win just because the other guys won't want to put their elbows. They won't want to
touch the
post up against that sweaty, hairy, that cold sweat that's on their hair. They don't want that.
There is an NBA player that has like an eagle's worth of chest hair. It's the most bizarre thing I've ever seen.
I don't know why.
And I wouldn't want to post that, man.
No, that's the thing. No one does.
In the NBA,
it's a strategy.
Where you've got to fucking show your shoulders, bro. Wax that shit. You look disgusting.
Anthony Davis walking around with his eyebrows connected. So they're not concerned. Some of they're like, I'm rich, motherfucker. Don't care what I look like. Fuck all of you.
Listen, I'm not.
How many eyebrows you got? 2? Let me tell you about how many houses I have. How many Lamborghinis? I have more Lamborghinis than you have eyebrows.
Yeah.
Boom.
I got more wives than you got eyebrows, and they're happy.
And they're all happy. And it's all okay.
And they're fine.
So he ends up, like we said, the Houston wins. Georgetown eventually beats them. Georgetown with Patrick Ewing and all that becomes national champs. He said he began believing what he read about himself at this point because he started thinking he was great. He comes in. Okay. He's a freshman in college. Yeah. And not about his feet or his dick.
Or his face.
Or his face. He's a freshman in college, so he thinks he's hot shit. He comes right in. They go all the way to the Final Four. Everybody in the whole country knows who he is all of a sudden. He's like, holy shit, this is great.
I'm a hero.
Yeah, he said, well, let's do it in their own words on him here, on how this is affecting him. We'll do in their own words. Quote, when they started putting me on that pedestal, it felt good, but I didn't know how to accept it. It changed me. I started getting conceited. I felt conceited and arrogant, and I knew it wasn't right. I was doing things and seeing things of myself that I didn't like in other people.
He got himself an ego.
Quick.
Yeah.
He never had an ego. He was always the most humble. Right. He's from fucking Haiti. And
Multiple nice, James.
His parents had to carry him around because they couldn't afford a wheelchair. That makes Forrest Gump look like he's, living in the lap of luxury and his mom's not fucking people to help him.
To get him into a school.
Ugh. To get him into a school. Tell you what, Sally Field, he ain't fucking worth it right now. Forrest Gump wasn't worth it. That school or not, he's still going to do the same shit he fucking did. He's going to run around and go, I like to run. Right. It's the same fucking thing.
And also, the principal of that school, aim higher. Find a hotter wife.
Yeah, that's
a hotter mom.
Like, well, not only that.
Sally Field. Ugh.
Yeah, Sally Field had a thing that a lot of people were into, though. Sally Field, people liked her in the 70s. She was considered very hot in the 70s.
There was a lot of chicks in the 70s that were hot. not that
you're going to get Sally Field blowback. I'm telling you right now. I swear to God, you're going to get some Field blowback out of that.
Gross.
But she wasn't a person that oozed sexuality.
No,
I'll say that about her. It's not about her attractiveness. It's about she does not have. You don't look at her and you go, I'm going to fuck that. Like that's nobody thinks that about
like
Sally
Jennifer
Field.
Garner.
Yeah. That's. Oh no. Well, no. Jennifer Garner, you think, hello, sir.
Right.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Never mind. Moving on. We've been dicks, so let's just move on about that. Sorry, Jennifer Garner. I know Jennifer Garner's an avid listener. She never misses an episode.
Yeah, I'm just saying, fucking Ben Affleck was right. That's all.
Jesus Christ. We are being dicks.
He was wrong at one point, though. Jesus Christ, why?
There's a scene, and never mind. I'm not going to get into it.
I saw P.S. I Love You. And,
Jesus, fuck. We did that on P.S. I Hate This Movie.
It's
I want to kill everyone involved in that movie.
It's just the most unbelievable story of all time. Gerard Butler is not trying to fuck her. It's never happening.
I'm currently hunting Hilary Swank for that movie. If anyone sees her, let me know.
Is that Hilary Swank?
That's the one where Gerard Butler's an Irish douchebag.
Right, and he dies and then writes
that's
letters?
Hilary Swank with her fucking crying face the whole goddamn time.
And she was $1 Million Baby, right?
Yeah, she's $1 Million Baby.
That's another one that's like
good actress,
nobody's
but get
trying
the
to
fuck out of here. That movie is terrible. I can't stand it. I had to watch it and take notes on it, and I hated every second of it. But we had a good time with it.
I don't know why Jennifer Garner and Hilary Swank both have careers. One of them is fine. We don't need both of them.
They're the same person.
You could have filled either one of them in for either movie that they were in, and nobody would have noticed.
Yeah, they're like Martin Mull and the other one. They're the same guy, the fucking the same actor. Like all through the 80s, it's like just give him all your parts and you go home.
No need,
because you're the same person.
We got you.
You deliver
already.
lines the same way. You know, you're similar looking, same type. You know, you can you're both brought in for the same part all the time. One of you go home.
They're Gary Busey and the dude from fucking 48 Hours.
Nick Nolte and Gary Busey.
Same thing.
Yeah,
same
that's
shit.
the same thing. Nick Nolte is Gary Busey's less brain
Minus
damage.
crazy, right?
Less brain damage. Let's be, here we go. 84-85 season. He comes back. He's feeling all good about himself. Mm-hmm. November rolls around. Started the basketball season. He's one of the big men on campus. People think he's hot shit.
He thinks he's hot shit.
He thinks his feet are straight as fuck. Yeah. He's feeling good about himself.
Was he pigeon-toed?
I don't know what condition he had. They didn't.
I wonder if there was any residual.
I couldn't get the Haitian medical records from 1965, but if I find them, I will give you guys an update on them.
I wonder if there's any residual disalignment happening.
He didn't even know what the hell. They broke him and reset him. I mean, I guess that's something. Who the hell knows what happened? But
I can't get beyond it. That's all.
No. Well, he's accused in November 1984. Well, everything is going great. He's accused of cheating on a paper. He's accused of turning in another student's work.
Oh, that's no good.
For a paper. He's accused of plagiarism. It's a big deal. He could get kicked out of school. He could get suspended. All sorts. He could lose a scholarship. Get kicked off the basketball team. He has a trial for this. There's a huge student council trial. It's nuts. There's this whole article from back then, from 1984, and it starts off at 8 a.m. He appeared to defend himself at a secret trial before a jury of 12 UVA students. It's like, what the fuck? He was charged with having plagiarized a paper, thus violating the university's 142-year-old honor code. If found guilty, he would be expelled. So, I mean, that's what we're talking about here.
Meanwhile, some girl was gangbanged in a fraternity house 2 nights before.
Completely against her will. And she was passed out, woke up, said, what happened? And no one cared. But this, let's all.
Have no idea how serious we're going to take
Jesus
this.
fucking Christ. Yeah. Never mind. Yeah. Yeah. Fuck everyone who's being date raped on campus. We'll ignore that for another, 30 years or so. There's a lot of plagiarism happening. Fuck.
Ridiculous.
30 years. Still
today,
ignored. Yeah,
tomorrow.
still fucking ignored. I know. My daughter is going to college in 2 years, and I'm like, fix this shit.
So we're gonna
fix it.
We're gonna have to build another studio in some other town, wherever she goes.
Wherever she goes.
We're gonna need to follow her.
I'm gonna need to kill people. It's gonna. And now we have people. I could have a whole hit squad out there. I could send my minions and
she
people
can go
out.
She wants.
To go, listen, everybody. It'll be like the Warriors. We'll be on the radio going, hey, everybody. I'll tell you where the smooth cat's at tonight. And everybody's gonna go keep an eye
out there.
The tiny Pietragallo out there. I want you all to keep a good eye on her. Keep an eye on that fake quack of a jack she's with. It's the Warriors.
Yeah, I'm on board.
They're on board. So
I like it.
You got to do it.
Fake.
Quack of a jack. What's going on out there?
Ridiculous.
That'd be a good how is it you've come to arrive here, the Warriors DJ. How is it you've come to arrive here? Hey, I see you walking all around the city.
You're going to have to write a rhyme every week.
Oh, Jesus Christ. That's brutal. It's bad enough I'm dreading my next appearance of Paul Calhoun. I got to have a song ready. I'm like, fuck, I've written him 3 songs already. It's enough.
You got to be a fucking midnight DJ rapper.
It's bad enough I have to come up with the music for them. Now I got to write songs for them to sing, too. I'm like, Jesus Christ. These people are killing me. So he appears, he defends himself. There's 20 hours of testimony and deliberation.
Over a plagiarized paper.
20 fucking hours?
Holy
What'd
shit.
you plagiarize it off of? Compare the two next to. Does that take 20 hours?
Right.
How many pages is this paper?
Compare each word, one word, second word, and go on.
It's nuts, man. He ends up after 20 hours, he is found innocent.
Wow.
Even though he admits to doing it.
Okay.
Yes, he admits to doing it, and they still acquitted him.
What happened?
He goes around, shakes hands with all the tribunal of jurors there, and all the records end up. This is the weird thing too. This is a student tribunal. All the records are burned afterwards.
Wow.
So this is one of the students on the one of the jurors on the basis of complete anonymity told this to a reporter. Actually, what happened here, which is fucking nuts. He goes in there. They won that night. Virginia won at Virginia Military Academy that night, and then he went in for the trial.
That's so weird. What a bizarre trial.
And people obviously assumed he got special treatment because he's a basketball player.
I see it happening like an Eyes Wide Shut party. Like everybody's wearing a bird mask.
Yeah, that would be perfect. Yeah, eating weird snacks and have no shirts on.
And then they religiously burn the paperwork all together.
There's 67-year-old white dudes with no shirts on who haven't fucking seen the sun in 26 years.
And then at the end of the trial,
shirt on.
when they burn all the shit, they all take their masks off and throw it on the paper.
And then fuck each
other.
Go,
oh, you were here too?
Yeah, hey, well, I'll fuck your face. Perfect.
Let me taste that.
Yeah, I love it. Some wealthy alumni threatened to suspend their contributions because Polynice had been let off the hook. Wow. He was pissed off. They ended up later on, the juror that talked about this said pretty much they thought that they weighed it, and they thought it was more detrimental to the university to kick this kid off for this because he was such a good basketball player. He was such a good player. They thought that brought a feeling of unity to the school to have a good basketball team, as evidenced by last year when we went to the Final Four, and that's more. So it would be worse for the school to kick him out for doing this than it would be to keep him, is what the kids decided.
Every other kid that fucks up in college.
They had 7 out of the 12 kids. They had 7 kids who really like basketball, and they were like, I'm not fucking no, fuck, he's innocent. He's goddamn it innocent. So he goes to the Virginia Military Institute that night that this happened, and the cadets everybody turned their backs on him and the opposing team when he came out. Colleges like to fuck with people who get in trouble. Yeah, everybody knows what happens. It all gets around. 2 days later at William and Mary, students waved term papers at him. They all had papers and they were waving them at him, saying, "Oh, here, take this paper." Yeah. He didn't score from the field that night.
Wow.
So it gets in his head. And Virginia lost by a point. So they could have used his help. And he did
at least one bucket, you dick.
Yeah. That was the thing. He was just, out of it. So he was going to Duke next, and that's not what you want. They were chanting at him also. They had a chant.
White people are the worst.
Yeah, especially the Duke twats. They're some uppity motherfuckers. Yeah. They're assholes.
Rich white kids.
All their parents are doctors and shit. They're not even
they're going to taunt a dude from Haiti.
They're not even like, my dad started some fucking textile fucking thing and built it up. These people are like, my father was my father's a doctor. My father's father was a doctor. We all are Duke University alumni, and we're going to chant at some poor kid from Haiti with deformed feet, even though we have everything.
One of them's last name is still Morris, like the fucking cigarettes, and they refuse to fucking get married and change that name.
Nope, fuck it. They chanted, he didn't show up for the game, actually. He didn't play this game. They chanted, "Where's Olden?" at the copy machine, because he's copying things. So they were picking on him. "Where's Olden?" And then the other side would chant, "At the copy machine."
Wow.
He's at sea. He can't make it. He's got copying to do here. So he They told him, the coaches told him to turn the paper in. They didn't know he plagiarized it, but it was for extra credit to get a better grade and whatever. And they said, yeah, you should turn this paper in. And he said, great. They didn't realize that he cheated. So anyway, he says about the whole thing, quote, people thought I was acquitted because of basketball. That's wrong. I got all this because I was a basketball player. If I was a normal student, it probably wouldn't have happened. I hated people at Virginia after that. From then on, I was just spiting everyone. I wanted to leave.
Yeah.
So after that, he was all pissed off because he plagiarized something and got caught for it.
Right, but he's saying he's saying it would have basketball.
It would have flown.
No, that's not true. It's because I play basketball.
Yeah,
you see,
which he's probably right.
Which is
too.
the same fucking thing.
It would have flown under the radar probably if he was just some normal kid.
Yeah.
They wouldn't have caught it. They probably look a little extra hard because they don't have normal kids don't have NCAA.
Right.
People.
I see what he's
looking
saying.
over all their schoolwork.
He's saying I didn't get off because I'm playing basketball.
Yeah.
I got caught.
Exactly. He said I'm in this in the first place because of basketball, but then he got off because
you play basketball.
It was a problem that was built and solved by basketball, so it doesn't really matter.
We're both right.
It's
Olden.
a wash. Basketball's good. Let's just say that. Thumbs up, basketball. Yay.
Jesus Christ.
So that season, he plays in 32 games, starts 29 of them, plays 34.2 minutes a game, 13 points a game, which is way up from 7.7, 7.6 rebounds. That's 2 more than last year, and 1.1 blocks. So he doubled his block output too. So much better, becoming a stronger player. He's the type of kid, he just keeps progressing and progressing and progressing. Virginia, though, did not progress as a team. They went 17-16 that year. Not terrific. They were 3-11 in their conference, which is awful. They don't go to the tournament even. Go from Final Four to sitting on their asses.
3-11? That's fucking horrific.
Yeah, and
against
in the
your
ACC,
rivals, that's not good.
Not going to work. 85-86 season, he plays in 30 games, starts all 30, plays 35.8 minutes a game, 16.1 points per game, 8 rebounds, 1.1 blocks.
That's okay.
So he's improving every year. And the scoring, like we said, you can't expect a kid to average 30 a game because the scores were 49-47, even in the best games. The team that year goes 19-11. They lose in the first round of the tournament to DePaul, who was the number 12 seed while they were the number 5. Yeah. That was the 5-12 upset that year.
That's no good.
And that's bad. You're going to lose to DePaul? Yeah. Really? No, I don't think so.
They're not very good historically.
No, DePaul's not like all their national championship banners. They might have an NIT or two. I'm not sure because no one pays attention to that. But, that's possible.
It's DePaul.
It's DePaul. So he showed progress, though. Everybody liked him on the court. They liked what he was doing. He could score. He could rebound. Because in this division, too, in this conference, there was a lot of good players at this time. Brad Daugherty, Chris Washburn, John Sally, Horace Grant. These are all future NBA power forwards he was playing against.
Great ones.
Really good ones. Yeah, these guys all had long careers in the I think Washburn might have gotten arrested a bunch. I'm not sure.
I only know Mashburn.
Sure. No, Jamal Mashburn. Chris Washburn was the Warriors, I believe, for a long time he was on. He played forever.
Was it before Clarence Witherspoon?
Yeah. That's on the Sixers, Witherspoon.
But
and then he was
Witherspoon
also on the Warriors. Yeah, later on. He started out. Anyway, neither here nor there.
Right. He's not Olden Polynice.
No, he's not Olden Polynice. In 86, he was second team All-ACC, and this second team because the first team was Daugherty, Len Bias, Johnny Dawkins, Mark Price. So they were pretty solid team there. His grade point average was really good. He was a languages major by that time, so he was doing well. The coach called his grades very solid. Polynice said he was just hating Virginia. He said, quote, there was some snobbery. And that's not me. I'll let something go maybe once, but the second or third time I'm going to do something about it.
I like that he added the ERY at the end.
I like that. There was some snobbery around. Yeah, no, because he learned English. He had to learn English. So he learned. He speaks very well. He doesn't have a heavy accent or anything.
That's true.
Yeah, you come when you're 7 too. You get used to it a little more.
Going back real quick to Len Bias, is that a sad thing or a happy thing?
That he died from a coke overdose the day he got drafted?
Or a happy thing?
I think it's pretty sad.
Being number 1 though,
happy.
But don't you kind of go? He went out winning. You know what I mean?
He went out winning, yeah. I'm sure he would have liked to collect that first paycheck to spend first. He could have bought a whole fuckload of coke, and then he could have had a bigger party and died even happier.
I don't know that it's...
I feel like at that point...
I'm just happy for his family to be able to just go, what could have been. That's
the thing about him that he always has. People are always like, he would have been better than Jordan. Jordan had a hard time with him, and no way of knowing.
We don't know.
We don't know. I mean, everybody said that. Oh, he would have been the Jordan killer. And it's like,
maybe not.
Shrug. I don't know what to tell you.
Maybe it's a great thing that he died, because if he was a bust,
he might have been a failure.
And we would have had another dude.
Might have been Joe Smith or Greg Oden. We don't fucking know.
Or that fuck for the Celtics that collapsed mid-game and just had his heart exploded.
At least he played well for like 6 years. He contributed. He was like a team captain, I think, or one of them at the time. He died.
Reggie Lewis.
Reggie
That's
Lewis.
it.
Yeah. His coach here, Holland, said, quote, he has not had the benefit of a perfect background. Polynice, not Reggie Lewis. Coming from Haiti, learning to speak English, being tall, all of the problems you can have growing up, I think he had most of them. So it was easy for him to be self-conscious and unsure of who he is in college. He only plays through his junior year, and we'll find out why. His college stats, he plays, starts 84 games, 31.9 minutes a game, averages about 12.1 points per game, 7 rebounds, and about a block a game.
Got it.
So not bad at all. 86, that season he was the team's leading scorer and rebounder, and people started to really see him as an NBA player. That's just, waiting the next Ralph Sampson, waiting for that next thing here. Now, the day before, this is fucking amazing here. The day before he's set to announce for the NBA draft, he's going to leave school after his junior year.
It's over.
He's
done plagiarizing.
He's told everyone he's announcing, but you're not officially announced, so you announce the next day. What he does is goes to a Rose's department store in Charlottesville, Virginia. So he goes there, and he is caught trying to shoplift a pair of headphones that are $16.77.
What a dummy.
From fucking Rose's department store.
For under $20.
Yeah, it's a petty larceny charge. The store owner files the charge. But I'm sure the thing is, though, you win, Olden, because I'm sure Rose's department store in Charlottesville closed down 25 years ago. So much like you stealing from Sears, if you've stolen from a defunct store, you win.
You did it.
That's it. You win. Yay. Who's still standing, bitch? That's right. Fuck you.
You took them down with your $16 theft.
Yeah, that's the thing here. So he announces he would turn pro the next day.
Yeah.
But the charge, then they charged charges were filed, and then the coach talked him into reversing his decision because he's like, that's going to fuck up your draft
status. It's going to look bad when you announce that. And
you're going to plummet.
I realize we're live, but I got my own headphones. I can plug these in.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, hold on. What's that, coach? And he moves his headphones. So then they said also getting your degree should be the most important thing in your life. This is the coach. He's like, you want to get your degree. Nothing about playing in your senior year when you're ready to be the best you've been the whole time you're here and what we've been cultivating you for the entire time and waiting for. None of that.
You've got your chance to make your fortune forever.
But get your degree, right? Yeah.
Remember how you want to be a lawyer?
Yeah, remember that, Olden? Virginia officials, they told him he should get counseling and academic help, and saying that he would not be allowed to play for the team before the second semester of next year. So he would have to start kind of in the middle of the basketball season based on the fact that he did a flip-flop on the whole thing.
That's so good.
The coach asked him to sit out for a year and then pay for school in his 5th year and play for the team.
Fuck.
And Polynice said, fuck no.
Yeah.
I'm not going to pay for I'm going to sit out this year and then come back and pay to make you money as a coach, to get you a fucking bigger contract. How about eat dicks? How about you pay for my college and I'll fucking come back? So he said that the circumstances up to his shoplifting arrest, he talks about them later on. He says, right around that time, I had gotten into a fight with another player on the team during practice. This was a big deal, by the way, and I didn't want to bring it up till now. But he says, quote, this guy, John Dislin, had been throwing elbows and taking cheap shots all year. This is a guy on his own team. And after getting it from him one more time, I just let him have it. I didn't mean to, but I broke his nose.
Oh, fuck.
He punched him right in the fucking nose. He said, Coach Terry Holland said, as a result, I would not be allowed to play in the early NIT tournament following the season.
Oh, no.
He said the punishment seemed fair, but the punishment seemed unfair, but he said it just fit the pattern in which he's being singled out because he's a prominent player. No one else has anybody else's nose blood on their fist. That's the difference.
And the other thing is, like, what
you can't punch people and break their nose on your own team. That's counterproductive.
Student athletes have so much pressure.
Yeah,
they feel so bad. I mean, I feel bad for. I don't feel so bad. I
do feel bad because people are getting rich from them, and anyone who's getting rich off of people
over a $16 pair of of headphones.
We're like college basketball players, Jimmy. That's the best. That's really what we are.
Other people are getting rich off
We're like
of us.
Motown singers.
Mostly them.
I think we're Motown. Yeah, really. How many songs have I written, Jimmy? Jesus Christ.
120 something.
I've written 126 songs on this show alone, and I'm like, no royalty checks, Mr. Gordy? Okay,
that's
cool.
Snapped
I'll wait.
Everywhere.
Yeah, no problem. Next year, okay. Keep coming. So, anyway, he said he had a problem there. He was very upset about that. It made him upset. He said that this was after the plagiarism thing, and he'd reached a point where he was just generally resentful of everybody. In their own words, quote, "The day I took the headphones was 2 days after the fight. I was with a friend. We had just come out of the store. It was like something snapped. I mean, I was wearing shorts, was 6'10" or whatever, and I turned back, went inside, and just took the first thing I could lay my hands on. I wasn't especially interested in stereo headphones. It was just like I went in there to get caught."
He's so dumb.
So he did this as he just wanted to piss everybody off. He wanted to be like, oh yeah, how about this? And you think I'm an asshole? How's this now?
These are mine.
Rather than going, they think I'm an asshole, I better not fuck up anymore.
Right.
He ends up pleading no contest to this. It's a misdemeanor charge of the theft. He receives a 30-day suspended sentence and goes through an extended, the school now, just an extended thing of him trying to preserve. They were trying to, first he wanted to preserve his scholarship, and then he didn't want to, and then they wanted to preserve his scholarship.
Well,
and they said, no, never mind. It was fucking stupid. And they went back and forth. Finally, Polynice renounces his final season of college eligibility, renounces it like a throne.
Yeah.
I don't want anything to do with it. He ends up, they think he's a great player and they think he's going to be good and shit like that, but they said with him, Virginia would have been a preseason number one, is what his coach said, and then without him, he's not.
Right.
So that no wonder why he wants him to come back so bad and get your diploma, son. It's the most important thing.
Your diploma's so important.
It's so important.
More important than the fucking NIT.
Oh God. So they said he ends up leaving college completely and going and playing in Italy this year.
Wow.
He's not ready for the draft.
This.
Yeah, neither did I. He's not ready for the draft. He plays with the Rimini Crabs of the Italian League. The team finished last, but Polynice averaged 17 points a game and led the league in offensive rebounds, and which is good. So he showed that he could go play in a professional league, be mature. He didn't break any teammates' noses, anything like that.
Playing against Leo Remini's family.
Yeah, that's it. All the Reminis are over there. They're a bunch of, think about it. They're all 5'3", and he's over there dunking on him. And they're like, oh, he's so ugly. And they run, and then he dunks on them. He's going to the draft. Everyone thinks he's going to be a first-round pick after this year. They said there's not a lot of big men out there this year, so he's going to go high.
That's nice.
Night before the NBA draft, he says, I hope I can do it. Maybe I can't, but I tell you what, I'm going to make it very hard as I possibly can for people to not like me, for people not to like me anymore. The real Olden is back.
Oh.
Baby.
Polynice.
Yeah, that's what he didn't say. It was,
multiple nice.
Look at my name. It's got nice right in it, goddamn it. I'm going to be better. About 10 teams expressed interest in him, but they were also, all of them were asking about his college and what's up with the stealing the headphones and the plagiarism and all that. Some coaches are a father of one of his Virginia teammates said that he's extremely sensitive, Olden is. Quote, he feels that people think he's not very bright, not a very bright or sharp kid. He is, and he wants people to respect him as they would anyone else.
Sure.
So he feels like, too, that he's like a foreigner, that they're kind of whatever. His high school coach said he's very artistic, talented, creative, and intelligent. He's actually highly principled with a deep sense of right and wrong, which is going to be funny later, and how he should be treated and how to treat other people. But sometimes he doesn't think through. He just reacts. He lets emotions get in the way of his decisions, like the shoplifting. It was a rash judgment. But Olden's not a thief. He's a principled kid.
Yeah.
That's a silver statement there. Olden's not a thief. He's a principled kid. Should be on a silver-haired middle-aged white man's business card.
Right.
Here you go.
Right.
None of these kids are thieves.
And
they're all nice kids.
Fill in the blank at the top. He's not a thief. He just
that's an empty one. You fill it in pen and then you give it to the kid. Hold on, the situation here.
He's a stealer.
Yeah.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this White Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
A few miles from the glass spires of Midtown Atlanta lies the South River Forest. In 2021 and 2022, the woods became a home to activists from all over the country who gathered to stop the nearby construction of a massive new police training facility, nicknamed Cop City.
At approximately 9 o'clock this morning, as law enforcement was moving through various sectors of the property, an individual, without warning, shot a Georgia State Patrol trooper.
This is We Came to the Forest, a story about resistance.
The abolitionist mission isn't done until every prison is empty and shut down.
Love and fellowship.
It was probably the happiest I've ever been in my life.
And the lengths we'll go to protect the things we hold closest to our hearts. Follow We Came to the Forest on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcasts. You can binge all episodes of We Came to the Forest early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus.
And now back to the show.
It's at this point, too, he has an 11-week-old daughter they're talking about.
Yeah.
He has a daughter named Tiara. He's supposed to be married to the girl's mother named Shauna that year. So he's all ready for the NBA, obviously. Okay. He said, quote, Italy, my fiance and my baby have cured everything. I've grown up. That's the only way I can put it. Finally, thank God I've matured. Like, he woke up one day and his flower was bloomed. Right. Like, I got my period. It's all better now. He said, I know I'm not the only, I know now that the only person I hurt is Olden. So now he's getting third person on that ass.
Got his period in Italy. And had a baby. And
danced,
all of a sudden.
And danced through a vineyard.
Yeah.
And that was that.
Rubbed some olive oil on it.
Rub some, that was it. My feet feel better now. June 22nd, 1987 is the NBA draft. Okay. Number 1 overall that year, David Robinson of the San Antonio Spurs.
From the Navy.
From the Navy. And this is in New York City, obviously, the draft. Armin Gilliam goes number 2.
Clippers.
Reggie Williams, Phoenix Suns drafted him, actually, and then he went around.
They got Gilliam?
Yeah, he went around after that. Number 5 overall, Scottie Pippen.
Okay.
Drafted by Seattle.
Yeah, that's right.
Obviously. Kenny Smith gets drafted by the Kings, the future Houston Rockets point guard.
That's so bizarre. Yeah, these names with the teams they were drafted
None of these guys
none of them stayed there and became amazing.
Number 7 overall, Kevin Johnson by the Cleveland Cavaliers.
That's right.
Again, 10-time All or whatever, a 6-time All-Star with the Suns, never with the Cavs. Number 8 overall, Olden Polynice by the Chicago Bulls.
How about that?
They pick him up. After that's Derek McKee, Horace Grant, Reggie Miller, number 11, Muggsy Bogues, number 12. Yeah, a lot of guys who played in the league a long time. Cadillac Anderson, who we'll definitely do an episode on one day. Greg Cadillac Anderson. Reggie Lewis, the dead Boston Celtic.
Really? He was drafted the same year?
Yep, same year. Number 22 overall for Reggie Lewis. So they could have had a dead shooting guard instead, but instead they got him. So there's a lot of good players in this year's draft. It's not too bad. Brad Lohaus, who was the terrible Milwaukee Bucks guy on NBA Draft for Super Nintendo.
Blowhouse, James.
Blowhouse. That's what no one didn't call him Blowhouse. We've talked about Blowhouse several times.
That's why I just said it.
Awful. If you could get Blowhouse to dunk, hats off to you, because it wasn't fucking easy. Not at all.
All right.
So that same day, June 22nd, he's a Chicago Bull. He's going to go play with Michael Jordan, except the Bulls trade him and a second-round pick next year and an 89 first-round pick, who ended up being B.J. Armstrong, all to the Seattle Supersonics for Scottie Pippen.
How about that?
So that's how the Bulls got Scottie Pippen.
Olden Polynice is how the Bulls got Scottie Pippen.
Absolutely.
I did not know that.
It's insane, right?
Yeah. And they got B.J. Armstrong. They got 2 of their starting 5
out of this deal
from so many championships.
That's fucking nuts, isn't it? From this deal.
Good for you, Olden.
Good for you. Yeah, that's something Olden can say he's done. He gave
the Bulls 5 championships.
He's some part of history anyway. He says about...
He can say that.
That's right.
I gave them 5 championships.
I gave them... He's proud of himself for this shit, too. Not the Bulls 5 championships, but he's proud of what he's done. He said, I learned how to walk and run. I used that. It was my motivator. Anytime someone told me I couldn't do something, you can't walk. You're not going to learn English in 6 months. You're not going to college. Oh, I won't ever play in the NBA. Well, guess what? There's always going to be someone who tells you can't do something. Tell me I can't do it. If you want me to do something, just tell me I can't. I used to love it when people told me that.
Olden, you can't give the Bulls 5 championships.
Jesus. Yeah. Or stay out of jail or play alongside Michael Jordan. He never did that. So either way, 87-88 with Seattle. He plays in all 82 games. Doesn't start any because he's a rookie. He only plays 13.2 minutes a game, 4.1 points a game. Doesn't matter.
And they have
rebounds.
Xavier McDaniel then.
That team is Tom Chambers, actually, which is odd before the Suns there. Dale Ellis, Xavier McDaniel, Derek McKee, Nate McMillan.
Wow.
That's Sadal
That's
Threet.
a great team.
Yeah, it's not a bad team. This is pre-Sean Kemp, pre-Gary Payton, pre, that 90s
kind of Schrempf.
Detlef Schrempf. He was on another team at that point.
Clippers?
No, Schrempf was
Pacers.
Jesus Christ, Pacers. Yeah. There you go. I'm like, I couldn't fucking put it in my head. So, this is the team goes 44-38 that year. They lose in the Western Conference first round of the Denver Nuggets. There you go. He must have been very happy for that. He only makes $350,000 that year, but this is 1987.
That's a lot of
money. If you're
money.
making $350, you're fucking killing it. That's $1 million.
Slaying.
That's $1 million now. That's great. 1988-89 season, Seattle again. This year, he plays in 80 games, starts 0 again.
Really?
Plays less minutes per game. Last year was 13 minutes. This year it's 10.4.
Jesus.
Averages 2.9 points a game, 2.6 total rebounds. They're just not playing him. He's
making a killing doing nothing.
Nothing. They have no interest in him. The team is 47-35. They're very mediocre. They go to the playoffs. They beat the Houston Rockets in the first round, and then they are swept by the Lakers.
Ouch.
After that, who's out of 4 games.
It's fucking Magic Johnson. You're not going to beat him.
Nope. And then he realizes he made $350,000 that year, and he doesn't give a shit anymore.
Fuck it.
He goes, whatever. I'm good.
$350, and I don't have AIDS.
$350, no Haiti. My feet are straight. Let's fucking do this. 89.
Is there any rumor that maybe he gave Magic Johnson AIDS?
I believe so. With his feet.
Yeah.
That was the only way it could happen. So 89-90 season, he plays in 79 games. They start him 7 times. He only plays 13.7 minutes per game again that year. So 4.6 points. They just don't care about him in Seattle.
Ninth man.
Yeah, they just don't give a shit. He's a backup center. He's like a third string center. And we heard that team. There was a lot of power forwards in there. Just a lot of bigger guys to bang around with. You get lost in that shuffle.
And depending on the strategy, depending if they want to go fast or go slow, you can put in all those guys at the same time.
That's what I mean.
So many
Jesus,
big guys.
It would just be a gang fight.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of guys in there that are huge and tough. Like Xavier McDaniel and Polynice. Those are a bunch of big, tough, ugly son of a bitches that you're scared to punch because you'll make your hand uglier. So... this year, the team goes 41-41. So 500. They don't make the playoffs.
Gross.
Miserable. This is, pre when they were good.
Yeah.
He makes $350,000
again.
This is when he starts to come into his own in terms of he plays to the crowd. He'll be all fist pumping, running down the court after a basket or something, and he'll be towel waving on the bench and making a spectacle of himself.
He's scoring 2 points a game, James.
Yeah, that's the thing. He's very excited when he scores
my
a basket. He's
2 points.
like, woo! Never mind towel waving on the bench. Yeah. He grabs one as he runs by and waves it as he runs down the court. Woo!
Somebody tally that up. There it is.
Picks a woman out of the crowd, bends her over, kisses her like it's VJ Day, throws her back on the chair, goes and dunks again.
Proposes to her at halftime.
Yeah, he would pump fans up to stand up before a timeout or to, do a rally. He'd be doing the get up everybody shit. Like it's all positive, they said, though. He's not getting mad. This is just when he's very energetic. He's
getting the team
he's like half of Dennis Rodman.
Right.
Like he's without the crazy part at this point. One of the players, a Seattle assistant coach, said, quote, he'll rub it in when his team gets up and ahead of you. You could see where players resent that. He's just immature, really. But I liked him because he always played and practiced hard.
Is that immature, though?
No, I don't think so. And that's just an old school. I remember the Yankees in the late 90s. I can't remember who it was. I think maybe it was Shane Spencer or somebody when he came up early 2000s, one of these players. They told him to calm down because they told him, hey, listen, you're showing a little too much enthusiasm on the bench. You need to be.
Yourself.
And it was like, they They need that.
Yeah.
They're fucking a bunch of old farts. Maybe they need somebody who's fucking enthusiastic. Maybe that'll light a fire under their asses to also be enthusiastic. Or they'll all make fun of him for it. Either way, it's camaraderie. What the fuck's the difference?
I'm just jacked about having a giant paycheck, and we're having fun.
And you hit a home run. Yay.
Can you believe the luck?
No shit. So,
I was born and going in the bad ones bin.
Did you realize? I need a picture of this bin so everyone can understand exactly what's going on. There are just baby arms hanging out of that shit like left and right. They let it stack up high. They only take it out once a week. It's
James
really
isn't
bad.
kidding. Left and right arms
just
hanging out of there.
Yeah, all over the place. So, 90-91 season. That's awesome. He starts with Seattle. In the beginning, he plays a few games with Seattle, 48 to be exact. They start him 0 games, and then they trade him. He's traded with a first-round pick to the LA Clippers for Benoit Benjamin, better known as Benoit Bunjamin on the porn scene. That is my cousin Ian's name. I can't take credit for that. He said that would be his porn name if
Bunjamin?
he was Benoit Bunjamin. It's very fucking
pretty good.
That's pretty fucking funny from Benoit Benjamin because his name is Benoit.
Right.
Why not? So this year he ends up going to the Clippers. They start him 30 of 31 games at the Clippers, so they needed him actually. He's 12.3 points a game for the Clippers, so he ups his production, 9.1 rebounds. There's a chance to play actually.
I forgot how long the Clippers were shit.
Terrible till 8 years ago. They've been fucking. They were awful. They were always a joke.
There's a great joke from Alonzo Bowden that said he used to, because he's tall, he used to tell people he plays for the Clippers because I'm black. I love the NBA, and I can't name three.
That's what I mean. They wouldn't fucking know. Nobody would care about the Clippers, and nobody did care. They were the team. If you were playing a game, a Sega game in the 90s, if you wanted to beat the shit out of somebody, you'd play the Clippers. You're like, fuck the Clippers. They suck. Boop. There we go.
They're all garbage.
Yeah. So this was the team the Clippers had. I mean, LaRon Ellis, Gary Grant, Ron Harper, Danny Manning, Elliot Perry, and a little Suns guy later on.
I liked Ron Harper.
Charles Smith.
I always rooted for him with his fucking
I like
speech
Ron
impediment.
Harper too, and I like Danny Manning a lot also. So this year he plays in 76 games, starts 65 of them, 8.1 points per game, 7.1 rebounds, only 24.1 minutes per game that year. An article in 1992 about him, he says, when I play, I don't have time to think about people. I got in Patrick Ewing's face once, and it wasn't until later I said, what am I doing? Come on, Olden, you're carrying this a little too far. But I saw a conflict between one of my teammates, and my instinctive reaction was to go over. I know one day I'm going to do that and get laid out.
Yeah.
So at least he's got the self-awareness to go, one of these big motherfuckers is going to knock me out when I go over there. Pretty much whoever gets the first punch in, it's going to probably be over.
That is an ugly fight.
That's an ugly.
Olden Polynice.
No one's breaking that fight up. They're just going to spray them with like a cat, like with
the only thing that can happen is improve their faces.
That's it. Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's better. Hey, Polynice. Now that part's swollen too, it looks better. That's right. Now it's all symmetrical.
It's proportional.
He said there was a psych up ritual. He'd drive to the sports arena in the LA Sports Arena over there in his Porsche 928.
Wow.
Jet black Porsche 928.
You betcha.
He'd have the music going. It was either he liked hardcore rap or reggae. He'd bump it up loud. He had fucking system in there with bass and everything. They said he would open up the sunroof and all that kind of shit and let everybody hear it. That one of his teammates said, quote, he opened the door one time and it was just blasting. I've never ridden it to a game with him, I'm glad to say. I'd be deaf if I did.
Jesus.
So they don't even want to get in his goddamn car. He says the game gets closer, and he says Polynice says he changes. He says, quote, it's two personalities. I switch over. Later on, he lets those personalities leak into his home life.
Fantastic.
He said he tapes up his left ankle, all this shit in order. He says, quote, I'm pumped, rebounds, and more rebounds. It's like I've got to get the first rebound of the game. He says at this point, he's 5 weeks into writing a screenplay that he hopes to sell and have made into a movie. And though he's never had anything published before, he also writes poetry. He says that it's one art that he's been publicized is painting also. He likes to paint, and he says he paints on everything from canvas to clothes. He said, when I was in New York, it was graffiti. Now it's canvas or clothes.
All right, poems.
Calm down.
Let me read you this poem I wrote about where God, and it's called Footsteps. See?
Let me write this poem. It's called Punched in the Face by Patrick Ewing. It's pretty good. It's not a bad one.
He's just reading you all these poems that he photocopied.
Crooked feet, crooked feet. Bad baby bin.
Let me read you this new poem I wrote called Sharpie Won't Write.
Sharpie. That's a blues song, actually. Sharpie won't write. Sharpie won't write, bad baby pen now.
The hook is just lick it. That's what it is.
Oh, lick it, baby. Throw those babies away. You gotta lick it, baby.
Unbelievable.
That's how it goes. So, this team here, the Clippers, they lose to the Western Conference first round of the playoffs to the Jazz that year in 5 games. $750,000 he makes. Fantastic. Not too fucking shabby there.
I'd love to make that.
1992, the riots are in L.A. when he plays in L.A. This was a big deal if you weren't born or don't remember, were too young for it. It was a big fucking deal. Like, it was an American city was on fucking fire for days.
Some dude
kind of a big deal.
Bounced a brick off a truck driver's head and then danced
and that's
in the
least of the shit that
on
happened.
TV.
Fucking Koreans were shooting at people indiscriminately. It was nuts. That place was crazy, and also looting and riots. So most of the players, though, because the league really wanted to stay kind of quiet about this because people all had different opinions. Like a lot of people were, just the general sentiment, a lot of people, they saw the Rodney King thing, and even people who weren't real sympathetic to race issues or anything like that were like, oh, that's fucked up. Yeah. Fuck that shit.
That's horrible.
And fuck that. Fuck those guys. And then when the riots started, though, then they were like, well, fuck those people for getting mad. So it was really weird. Like, people would agree with the cause, but then be mad at the riots. So it was a very divisive issue, these riots and the whole thing. So the NBA tried to steer clear of it, and most people did, and most players did, too, at the request of the league. Sure. And but Olden Polynice did not.
No,
Olden Polynice jumped right in there. He grabbed a shovel. And for days, he would shovel debris of burnt shit with the people. Yeah, he jumped right in there, would join the crews. He's the only NBA player fucking doing this that I know of. A Clipper, because he lived there. Yeah. He said, quote, how can you think about sports when people have lost their lives and homes? That's what he said. So, and he's while he was shoveling. Yeah. And they were talking about how most athletes stayed as invisible as they could possibly be. Sure. And this guy was 6'10" with a shovel in his hand right next to everybody else. Yeah, which is pretty fucking crazy. That's, I mean, you hear that and you go, wow.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
What a nice dude.
What a good dude. He thinks about other people. The Clippers, though, I don't think quite liked it very much because they end up trading him directly after that.
Right now.
Yeah, he's trying to be like a good member of the community, all this, and they're like, let's get him the fuck out of here. We don't like what he does. Yep. Donald Sterling was the owner of the team, let's get fucking Righty there out of here.
He's costing us money.
Yeah, let's get Crooked Feet out of here. So he's traded by the Clippers for William Bedford and Don McLean. Polynice says the Clippers were so shitty to him they didn't even tell him about it. He said, quote, I'm hanging in L.A., hanging out with some friends one night in Santa Monica. I look up on the TV and my picture's up there. I've been traded to Detroit. I didn't even get a phone call.
How about that?
He found out on the fucking news with his friends.
He watched ESPN and found out.
Hey, Olden, you're moving tomorrow. Pardon me? You're moving to Michigan from Los Angeles.
Fucking Detroit.
Excuse me? Yeah, thanks a lot. That's how shitty it is to be in the NBA.
Somebody said something weird on TV and there's a Mayflower truck out front. Is there?
They're beeping. Is that a thing? They have a little sign that says Olden.
Weird, right?
Yeah, I don't get that. So this was the Detroit team that had Mark Aguirre, Joe Dumars, Isaiah Thomas still left over. Isaiah Thomas was still there. Orlando Woolridge. Yeah, this was the end of it. This is when it's going to Alvin Robertson.
How about that?
So teammates with another one of our pals here. So February 93. He's done some bad things so far. Not much bad stuff. So far, he's been pretty good. Mm-hmm. Well, 93, want to talk about good? He starts fasting for Haiti.
What?
He's fasting in support of Haitian refugees who were infected with HIV, who they were treating poorly in Haiti. Yeah. So they said that he was always interested in this sort of thing and the politics of Haiti and all this. He said he was protesting U.S. policy toward Haitian refugees that had HIV by fasting because they had a different, they weren't let in and they were put in refugee camps that were worse than others and that sort of thing. He said he attempted to visit one of the refugee camps in Miami and he was turned away at gunpoint by soldiers that wouldn't let him in to visit, which, I mean, it's a secure location, not going to let a guy in, but still.
People have AIDS, bro.
Yeah, they're like, get away. He's like, no, it's all right. My feet are crooked. So it was it turned into a modified hunger strike because he did it during the All-Star break. Yeah. But then then once they started playing, he had to start eating something again.
You need energy, you dipshit.
So he would do that. They said he was. This is what I mean. There's Haiti. There's that. He said, quote, one of his Virginia assistant coach said, quote, Olden was never one to sit back and be a spectator in this world. He's going to speak his mind and take a stand. He's a sensitive, caring person. He's very emotional, and that kind of involvement does not surprise me at all. He said, quote, I just feel that something has to be done. We're talking about the Bosnians and the Somalians and everybody else, but nothing's being said about the situation in Guantanamo or in Miami or the Haitian plight, period.
Okay.
So he's like got some geopolitical fucking interest more than most NBA players in 1992.
I get it, Olden. Nobody's saying we don't care about them too.
Yeah,
you know
he's saying they don't care about him at all.
He just wants a big spotlight on him. And I get it. That's fine. It is a horrible place.
Yeah, he lost 6 pounds in a hunger strike here. For this sort of thing.
That's what it takes?
Yeah, that's it. That's 6 pounds. He said he ate only a small pasta salad before they played Miami before a game. Yeah, that's it. For a big guy like that to run, you know how many calories you burn in an NBA game? Yeah. I mean, especially that year, he's averaging 20 minutes a game.
He just jammed 560 calories down his throat. He's like, that'll do.
And he ran off 4,000 in the first half and was like, Jesus, are you lightheaded?
Anybody got any pasta laying around?
Is that just me? So
you'd really go for some pasta soaked in fucking Thousand Island.
I could do that.
It's Italian, isn't it?
It's not going to be Thousand Island.
Thousand Island would be terrible.
That would be disgusting. There's relish floating around. You're like, what is this?
It's the most vile shit.
So this now, he stole some headphones, had plagiarism, but he's really come back. Everything he does, he improves. He improves. In basketball, he's improving in salary, he's doing all sorts of works, he's helping people with debris, he's doing all this. Grace.
Really?
This is grace.
That's it.
Oh, it's a hard left from here on out, brother. That's definitely grace. 92-93 season here with Detroit, 7.3 points per game. Like we said, he didn't play all that much, only started 18 games. The team goes 40-42. Okay. So things have taken a downturn for Detroit, who was in the finals a couple of years before that, before the Bulls took over. $850,000 he makes that year.
That's fantastic. And in Detroit, he's the fucking...
Oh, you could be the king of Detroit. Yeah, definitely.
He's fighting over
you could buy, a few years ago, you could buy half the city for $850,000. Just whole blocks.
He could have been Eminem's landlord for the rest of his life.
So September 28th, 1993, this debris shoveling, fasting for a good cause type of guy, he is suspected of assault with a deadly weapon on that day. As his girlfriend told police, he pointed a loaded handgun out at her outside of her home in her driveway, and he was arrested at his home about an hour later. He ends up being released on $20,000 bail at about 11 a.m.
What did she say about Haiti?
Oh, boy, yeah. What'd she say about crooked-footed Haitians?
Yeah.
Police say that Polynice was in the driver's seat of his car outside of his ex-girlfriend's apartment at 6 a.m., which is never good.
No.
You don't want to be there at 6 a.m. or 11 p.m.
From the night before.
You want business hours there if you're going to have an ex situation. Apparently, there was an argument while she was standing outside the car, and so Olden here pulled a loaded handgun from somewhere in his car and pointed it at her. And scared her, obviously, and then kept taunting her with it, and said, quote, she said, told police that he said, quote, I should have shot you last time. I would have shot you in the leg.
Jesus.
Okay, so this is apparently not the first time that he's pulled a gun on her.
And he takes it out on legs.
I should have shot you in the leg so you'd be limping and know what it's like to be a 4-year-old Haitian boy. So police say Polynice denies pulling the gun at all. He doesn't. He obviously said, "I don't know what you're talking about. This is obviously false. I am an ambassador of goodwill." And
did you see me shoveling in riots?
I ate a pasta salad and then played an NBA game.
You done that?
I was banging around with Hakeem Olajuwon after a pasta salad. What do you think of that? You done that, pal? So at that point, that's why that's not great. That's a bad charge.
Yeah.
You don't want to be pointing your gun at your girlfriend, telling her, "I should have shot you last time." I feel like that's a bad look for an NBA player.
Which tells the police this has happened before.
That's obviously and this nobody knew, but there's been gunplay is what that says here.
It's been around.
It's happened. So 93-94 season, he starts it with Detroit. Okay. He plays a little bit for Detroit, 13.1 points per game, nothing crazy. February 20th, though, around the All-Star break by the trade deadline, he is traded by the Pistons to the Sacramento Kings for Pete Chilcutt. Not to go to Sacramento in the mid-90s too it's not a glamour destination. No. You're not excited about that.
This was after the jersey change though, so they had actually I think this is when they had the purple and black jersey.
Yeah, this is the teams with this is Bobby Hurley post-accident here. Brian Grant, Randy Brown was on that team.
It's a fun team.
Mitch Richmond. Yeah. Mitch was good. Richmond was really fucking good. He was a great player. Yeah, he was a great player. And you get him in a Sega game, he could crush. He was the only thing good about Sacramento. So he makes $850,000. Olden does, not Mitch Richmond. That year, the Kings, on the other hand, they finish 39-43 in 94-95. The next season, not that great as the Kings were. They were another one. You play the Clippers or the Kings if you wanted to beat up on somebody. That year, though, 94-95, he has 10.8 points per game, which is okay. Plays and starts all 81 games he plays in, so that's good.
He was a starting five?
Starting five for Sacramento, 10.8 points per game, 9 total rebounds, about a half a block, so that's not terrific. He'd been averaging about a block a game in his career before that. So that year, though, he makes $1.9 million.
In Sacramento.
So now,
that's great.
Now you're doing well. Now this is a different type of situation. This is better. August 15th, 1996, though, there is a little bit of a problem. Apparently, there is a disturbing the peace call. The police are called to his home from something that is stemming from a, quote, family argument, which sounds like he's arguing with his girlfriend or something like that. No charges ever result from this, though. The police come and visit, and we find out another visit that never gets documented that also they'd been called out to the house.
Interesting.
Whenever we hear about any of these domestic violence for all these athletes, there's always like, this is the fourth time the police have been there. The first 3 times nobody got arrested, blah, blah, blah. It's never the first incident. It's there. It's basically like every time that happens, the cops go, well, we'll be going back there at some point. I'll tell you that much. Once this happens once.
Polynice is going to be familiar with us.
Yeah, the floodgates are going to goddamn open here. So 95-96 with Sacramento. He plays 81 games, starts 80 of them. Not bad at all. 12.2 points per game. Not bad at all. It's okay. Total rebounds, though, it's 9.4. You know, it didn't crack that 10 for Sacramento, and 0.8 blocks per game. The team is terrible, 39-43, which is the same garbage pretty much they were last year. I think the same record they were last year. Just garbage. But they actually make the playoffs under 500.
That's how shitty the West was.
That's how shitty. In basketball, you can, and hockey too, you can have 500 teams making the play, because it's half the league makes the playoffs, more than half the league. It's kind of the nature of it. They do lose in 4 games in the first round to Seattle that year, who was actually good. That was when they had Kemp and Payton and all those guys. Schrempf and Sam Perkins.
Yeah, that's right.
A good squad there. Yeah, old droopy-eyed Sam.
That was a fun fucking team.
Yeah, well, Olden, in the playoffs that year, though, in that playoff series, he averages 13.8 points and 12 rebounds per game.
Well, look at this.
So he comes alive in the playoffs.
Some pressure on the guy.
And he gets a little bit better. Well, you know what? His whole life's been a lot of pressure, and so maybe that's what he needs, a little bit of pressure.
On the line.
As long as you don't chant things about term papers at him, I think he's going to be fine with everything. So this is he makes $2,520,000 that year.
What a payday.
So that is great. That's fucking, if you're from, a situation where your parents are a cab driver and a housekeeper and you grew up with nothing and no wheelchair and all this shit, man, you're styling.
5 years in the NBA, he's made $5 million. He could buy Haiti now.
Yeah, the whole island.
Unbelievable.
It's all good. Everything on it. So 1996-1997 season, he starts with Sacramento, obviously, and October 18th, 1996, Polynice starts the game for the Kings here against the Pistons that night. Then later on that night, police receive a 911 call from Olden's home.
He got off work and wanted to have a fight.
He got a little bit of a fight. Wasn't quite happy with the way the game went, apparently, or something. He's got a 25-year-old girlfriend there at home, and she calls 911. And while the 911 line was still going, and that's horrible. As a 911 dispatcher, imagine the shit you hear on the other side of that fucking fucking call.
I can't imagine.
Yeah, he could. The dispatcher could hear, quote, what sounded like a fight involving a man and woman, which is exactly what it was, apparently. She told the dispatcher that, quote, that her boyfriend had become violent. So that would be Olden in that situation. The woman told officers that Olden, quote, forcibly pulled a set of keys from her hand and simultaneously shoved her against the wall. So that's not great. She sustained a small cut on her lip and a swollen hand and finger or left hand. Polynice describes it as a, quote, unfortunate incident, which is an understatement. He's very understated sometimes. Sometimes he's overstated, pump his fist. Sometimes you beat up a woman and you say, it's an unfortunate incident. What did he say about pulling the gun on the one and threatening to shoot him? What was that?
It's an unfortunate incident. Unfortunately, she got hurt tonight. Unfortunately, I ripped car keys from her hand, causing great pain and swelling.
Great pain. Right. Was the gun just a conversation with props? Was it improv? It was just improv practice.
It's an interesting disagreement.
We brought props into it. Right. It was a colorful disagreement. That's all it was. Just a very colorful. Right. I'm a colorful guy.
It was a dangerous situation.
It's dangerous. Also, unfortunate, if that's a better word. You know what? I'm going to go with unfortunate as far as dangerous is not.
Inconvenient because I had to talk to police.
I had to talk to police, and I'm sure it was inconvenient for her. Yeah. She didn't want to have a gun pulled on her and talk. Oh, I mean, I didn't pull a gun on her. Never mind.
She had to do paperwork, and she had
to talk to people.
It's an inconvenient evening.
So he is arrested at home on domestic assault charges. At that point, which that's not good here. You don't want to be booked into county jail, which he is after a basketball game. He's released several hours later on bail, obviously, but
still wearing the jersey.
Now he's got that hanging over his head. So now he's got 2 domestic assault incidents with 2 different women, one involving a gun. We're building a bad resume now.
Good.
He's see what I mean? He built this goodwill up with the Haiti thing and with the helping with after the riots. He does all of that, and then he quickly throws it all right in the fucking garbage.
It's all negated.
You fucking asshole.
As soon as you see your wife's or girlfriend's face in your fucking sights of your weapon.
Yeah, that's not now or the print of it in your drywall. Right. Either one of the two. If you see a makeup print of a woman's of eyeshadow on some drywall, you've done wrong, and you should know that.
Maybelline all over your fucking wall.
It's not terrific.
It doesn't matter how many burned houses you've shoveled out.
No,
you're a dick.
You're kind of an asshole at that point.
He was hip-hop's biggest mogul, the man who redefined fame, fortune, and the music industry.
The first male rapper to be honored on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, Sean Diddy Combs.
Diddy built an empire and lived a life most people only dream about.
Everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But just as quickly as his empire rose, it came crashing down.
Today I'm announcing the unsealing of a 3-count indictment, charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution.
I was up. I hit rock bottom, but I made no excuses. I'm disgusted. I'm so sorry.
Until you're wearing an orange jumpsuit, it's not real. Now it's real.
From his meteoric rise to his shocking fall from grace, from law and crime, this is the rise and fall of Diddy. Listen to the rise and fall of Diddy exclusively with Wondery Plus.
In the 1980s, a rosé swept the country.
Hey, Mike, I really like this white Zinfandel.
Well, good. Now put it down. We're going to try another one.
White Zin became America's top-selling wine. But most don't know that this sweet drink has a sour history. What began in 1986 with counterfeit bottles.
A big fraud, a multi-million-dollar fraud.
Sent investigators chasing one of the most powerful families in the business, the Licciardis. But the closer the feds got to them, the more dangerous things became. It's a story of deceit.
At the time, I was paranoid.
Threats.
You touch my kids, I will kill you.
And murder.
With a .22 caliber bullet to the head.
What started with a scheme to mislabel wine spilled into a blood-soaked battle for succession. Welcome to Bloodvines. You can binge listen to Bloodvines exclusively and ad-free on Wondery Plus. Join Wondery Plus in the Wondery app, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify.
And now back to the show.
Hey, everybody, just going to take a quick break from the show to tell you a little bit about Blue e-cigarettes.
MyBlue.com, MYBLU.com. Sometimes it's hard to find a satisfying vape that's simple and convenient. You know, most vapes are those big, giant, bulky vape machines. It's like a copy machine that you have to carry around. You can get a little stick. They're very easy, and they're good for on the go.
If you're trying to quit smoking, this might be the way to do it for you. It might be a good cessation tool, so give it a shot. Obviously, if you're not a nicotine user to begin with, ignore this.
Blue introduced vaping to the world, from what I understand, and it's now introducing MyBlue, M-Y-B-L-U. Gives you all the satisfaction with none of the hassle.
One-click Liquipods. You can switch between flavors in seconds. You have a range of delicious flavors to choose from. Just 20 minutes to charge, and you're set all day.
Ready to make the switch? Try MyBlue today at myblue.com.
And now, back to the show.
On the court, still plays, starts all 82 games, so he does that, doesn't miss a fucking game from that.
Right.
He's released later on that morning, played the next day like nothing happened. He starts all 82 games, 35.3 minutes a game, which is a career high for him.
This is unbelievable.
It's not bad. 12.5 points per game, 9.4 rebounds, gets back up to one whole block a game.
How about that?
Not bad. The team is awful, 34 and 48. They're the kings of the mid-90s, which doesn't really matter, though, because he makes $3,140,000 that year.
Fuck.
Which is fucking impressive.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money for anybody.
Yeah.
He ends up in the off season too. He works as a color commentator for the WNBA's Sacramento Monarchs.
Did he really?
Well, you know what the thing was, Jimmy? At home, he's got a lot of kids, as we'll find out later. It's very, very loud. It's very you can't get solid rest.
Yeah.
Now, where you can get solid rest is a live WNBA game.
And if there's anything that he's really good at, it's talking about women that he'd like to punch in the face.
That's the other thing. Who the fuck is the other thing?
That's crazy. Why did they put him
how did he not
in the
get
booth?
Beat up by half of these women? How did they not come over and be like, hey, motherfucker, pull a gun on me, bitch. Some 6'8" fucking, they're tough. Those ladies are, I wouldn't fuck with those women.
They can't score and they can't dunk, but they are tough.
Awful at basketball, but I wouldn't fight them for anything. Really anything at all.
And how do you, as an organization that is about women and promoting women and their ability,
hire him.
And you hire the dude that pulls guns on women.
Anybody here?
What the fuck is going on?
Who's got a fresh domestic violence, like in the last year, like in the last 12 months? Olden Polynice, you get him in the booth. Then we're going to make this funny.
You got anybody that painted their living room in Maybelline with their wife's face?
Is
you
that
have anybody?
Hey, yeah, we're giving the women their own league and shit like that, but we still need it to be insulting to them. How can we do that? How can we still make sure they know that they're lesser?
We'd like to.
Oh, I get it. Let's put a domestic abuser in the booth. We'll arm him too. We'll say he might bring his gun. Maybe he brought it. Maybe he didn't. You never know, ladies. The fuck?
You know, we're really boosting women up a little too. How can we knock them down just at least one peg?
Maybe just have them have some fear in their hearts. That's all. Why would they do that?
Who the fuck made that call? Who sat in a booth and was like, we need to hire somebody?
But then again, if he stayed in the booth all season and didn't fall asleep, fucking hats off to him. Maybe he's trying. He's coming around. I don't know what to say because that's impressive. That is impressive.
That fucking layup contest that they have going on.
Jesus. So September 10th.
And they miss those.
That's the thing.
That's depressing.
You need to be above the rim. And it's not their fault. Everyone's shorter by nature. Well, plus, everyone's shorter by nature. So it's just a matter of why. I don't understand. If the average player in the NBA is 6'7", and the average player in the WNBA is 6'1" or whatever, or 6 foot tall. Why not lower the rim 7 inches to make up for that? I don't know what. Let's do that.
Rim.
Yeah, and it's not an insult. I would maybe watch it for 5 minutes if that. Maybe, probably not, but I might. Because there's better basketball available. Yeah. Although it is, I got to say, I will say this, it is just as good as college men's basketball.
It is.
It's just as good.
They miss just as much.
It's the same scores. They are...
Just less dicks on the court.
So, I'm sorry, everybody, all you guys out there going, fucking quit your dick swinging for a second, because if you love college basketball and you watch the tournament, you're watching the same thing.
Right, you're
so
watching
fuck
the
you.
WNBA.
That's going to be the next thing. So... September 10th, 1997.
But in the WNBA, they are punching their wives just as much.
Oh, they are. That happens all the time.
They are knocking them the fuck out.
I'm sure we'll have
driving drunk.
I'm sure we'll do an episode.
Punching bitches.
Yeah, they'll punch them.
WNBA and the NBA are exactly the same.
It's the same.
Minus scoring and dunking.
Yeah, minus excitement. And something you pay to see.
Minus fun.
Minus a product to watch. So this is 97. The charge of domestic abuse from last year involving his then fiance is dismissed by the Sacramento District Attorney's Office. He was free this whole time on $10,000 bail. He had his bail returned to him. The charge was dismissed here. The prosecutor said there was insufficient evidence to try the case because his fiance didn't want to talk anymore because now everything's fine. I'm good now.
Also, her mortgage is fucking expensive.
He hasn't punched me lately, is what she said, so everything's fine. They said the Special Assistant Chief Deputy District Attorney Patrick Marlette, that's a fucking long title, he said, quote, it was not her desire to proceed with the case. They have been married since then, so now she was Rachel Taylor, who is now Rachel Polynice, I guess they say. They've remained together and successfully participated in counseling, he says. In light of these factors, we asked the court to dismiss the case. He's good now, is what they said. When they arrived, they said he could have been punishable by up to a year in jail or a $6,000 fine. Polynice describes the incident in court as, quote, a family situation that got out of hand. I love it, but it's hilarious when giant athlete assholes beat up a woman and then say it was a family situation. That's all it was. None of your business. It's a family situation. No.
Is the fuck out of it.
When you punch a smaller person who lives in your house, that's not a family situation anymore. You've invited the rest of us in to judge that shit at that point.
The other thing is, like, a family situation is like punching your brother on Thanksgiving because he said something that you didn't agree with, and you were both drunk. Punching your wife is fucked up.
That's fucked up.
I don't care which way you shake it.
And on her thing, whether it's Kobe Bryant's wife with the giant ring after the cheating incident, or a little quid pro quo here, Rachel Polynice here opens Nico Kids after that. An 850 square foot store named after their son Nico. It's located in the Pavilion Shopping Center in Sacramento. I'm sure not anymore, that's
an equal mistake.
Features domestic and imported lines for babies on up to preschoolers. Part of the proceeds went to aid Sacramento Child Abuse Prevention Council, which she was a board member.
It would have been amazing if she just bought everything domestic. Just everywhere in the store, the word domestic was fucking
When
everywhere.
I saw that, this was like a fluff thing about it. I'm like, don't use the word domestic. This was like 3 days after the fucking
say it
charge was
everywhere.
dismissed. So he was like, we'll open the doors when the charge is dismissed. That's when we'll open the doors.
That's when you get the keys to this shit.
Prosecutor said, we're going to case dismissed. And he did one of these ching and tossed the keys over to her. And she was like, doors open tomorrow.
He threw the keys at the gavel.
That's it. Done.
Knock, knock.
So he's still in Sacramento, 97-98. He only averages 7.9 points per game that year. Plays in 70 games, only starts 20.8 minutes per game. Not terrific. Total rebounds, 6.3 a game. You got to have more of that out of a guy that size. I'm sorry.
For that kind of money.
For that kind of money, especially. He is making $3.61 million to $3,610,000 that year.
Wow.
The team is god-awful atrocious, 27-55.
Yeesh.
Absolutely awful.
Pissing their money away on a baby store.
On nothing, yeah. They're like, well, I guess we sort of own that. Fuck, man, we should. They should give us some stock in that fucking thing. The owner should be able to go in and pick out a couple of onesies whenever he feels like it.
Grab a stroller every now and again for a baby fucking gift.
No shit. That's the end of his contract in Sacramento, and that's a tough time to have your contract up too, because that is when the strike happened right after that. So he's a free agent out there floating in strike land once the strike is over.
And this is when I gave up on the fucking
This is
NBA.
when a lot of people did. It was hard to watch after that. It wasn't the same.
No.
It took a while to get back in the groove of it, and it was too late.
Spurs winning championships.
Yeah, it's like the Spurs.
It was fucking foreign.
Yeah.
Houston Rockets winning.
Well, they won. They won before.
Yeah, but it was just fucking weird.
They were good in the mid-'90s. I was excited because the Knicks went to the finals of that strike-shortened shit year, but then they lost anyway, so it didn't matter. They could have got me back, but the Knicks lost, so never mind.
And then they quit trying too.
So, January 21st, 99, the strike's over, and Olden signs as a free agent with the Seattle Supersonics.
Back home.
Back home with the Sonics. They grab him again. This is Vin Baker's on this team. You know, Dale Ellis. Vin Baker, by the way, doesn't sound like a basketball player. Vin Baker, it sounds like a truck driver or a plumber from around the way. Say he hangs out with Paul Calhoun. He installs Paul Calhoun. He's, hey, guy, no, when I come back, I just do the estimates. I'm Paul Calhoun. I do the estimates. I smack your wife, that sort of thing. But the guy who actually puts in your shit pipes.
It's all Vin Baker.
That's a guy named Vin Baker. He's got his own truck. He comes over. He's the best shit pipes.
Half his ass is out. Right?
It's all about shit pipes. He doesn't even have an ass on his pants because he said, you know what, it's going to hang out anyway. That's how committed I am to my job. When I saw that, I said, I got to hire this fucking guy. He was born to clean shit pipes.
You know why he has 11 inches? Because one more inch is a crack. One more inch of crack, he'd have a foot. He'd have a foot back there. That's what it would be.
Oh, man. Gary Payton on this team also. Detlef Schrempf still around. So he's on their team that year on Seattle. He's fined $5,000 for making an obscene gesture toward fans one game on March 4th. Yeah, it was actually in Sacramento, which is funny. He was going at it with Billy Owens, and they end up getting booed because they were fighting, right. And then he gives them the finger. And Seattle won, though, 105-102. Good for them. He plays in 48 games that year, starts 47 of them because there's only 50 games in the season, I believe, that year. 7.7 points per game, not great. 8.9 rebounds a game, so he's not living up to potential.
No.
His uphill ascension has just taken, ever since he pulled that gun on his ex-girlfriend, things have taken quite the downturn for him.
You think maybe the Haitian surgery just doesn't have any longevity?
Well, he's not being injured. He can run.
But maybe the legs they're kind of giving out.
Only if he shoots with his feet. Only if he shoots with his feet, because his career has no legs because he had a Haitian surgery. Well, he's also a god-awful free throw shooter. He's one of the worst, so maybe he is shooting with his feet. He shot 31% from free throw that year.
Free throw, I think.
Terrible.
It was like he'd line it up and then he'd like move it to the side and shoot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was.
I think that's true.
31% the year before. He was a 45% free throw shooter. Year before that, 56. Year before that, 60, 63. He's gone down the last 5 years. Just worse than Shaq he's gotten to. 31%'s insane.
That's terrible.
Your grandmother could shoot that 31%. If you gave her some practice, hey, Grandma, shoot a bunch of those. We're going to need you to do that a couple times in the game. They'd shoot 31% from the free throw line.
It seems like the commentary of NBA may have driven down or driven up the percentage of free throw. It seems like because when we were watching like this era of NBA, the commentaries would be like, if they'd have made 50% more, they would have won the game. And now like the worst free throw shooters in the NBA are like 73%.
Because it's ridiculous.
Great at it.
At one point, they finally stopped and went, "This is a free fucking shot. They're letting you take it.
1 point you get guaranteed.
Fucking practice that. We're not going to accept under 75%. We're not. We're just fucking not."
Did it.
And they did. Yeah. Even Tim Duncan was a terrible free throw shooter, and he was a good shooter, like a good mid-range jump shot, but he couldn't shoot a fucking free throw. Maybe he should try to like turn around and fade away. Would have hit it better.
When you were a kid, though, the smaller the guy, as it got to the bigger part of the lineup, the worse the free throws.
Mark Price 96%, Shaq fucking 47%. That's what it is. Gunning it at the goddamn thing. That's what it was.
John Starks was like 90%.
John
Patrick
Stockton
Ewing
was
fucking 12.
Jeff Hornacek like 93% or some crazy shit. It was tiny white guys and tiny black guys, just tiny guys. But I remember all the white guys for some reason because that's all they were good at.
Well, it's
that's what they were known for. It was like, what else do you know Jeff Hornacek for? Decent three-point shooter, 92% from the fucking foul strike.
It's because we had to make our free throws to be captains on the street team. That's what happened. I was great at free throws. I couldn't shoot shit outside of that.
Yeah, I'm 6'4". I didn't have to worry about that, so that's fine.
To make the team, I had to hit that free throw.
They're like, he's tall. Fuck it. Come on, let's go. He makes $1 million this year doing that. August 2nd, 99, after the season, he's released by Seattle. Not to fear, though. No fear. 3 weeks later, he signed as a free agent with the Utah Jazz.
Really?
This is the Armin Gilliam, Jeff Hornacek, Karl Malone, obviously, Olden Polynice, Brian Russell, John Stockton.
Ostertag.
Oh, boy, Ostertag.
You betcha.
I hate Ostertag.
That big dumb fuck.
We've talked a lot about that fucking... Oh, God, is he a mook. He is just a
Another
dullard.
one. Fucking horrible at free throws.
Be flat-topped dullard. Fucking...
The most bland white man on the planet.
If there's ever a man who in need of a mullet, that's the guy. Like, you just want to put one on the back of him with a flat top and a mullet.
As a man with a closet full of overalls, for sure.
Oh, positively.
Absolutely.
So Ostertag here, and the Utah Jazz that year. That was after they had played the Bulls in the finals in '98, and that was 97, 98, and the year after, 2 years earlier. That year for the Jazz, he starts 79 out of 79 games.
Really?
He plays in all 82. Starts 79, only 22.2 minutes per game. So he'd be in like early and rotate out, I feel like.
Yeah.
He only scores 5.3 points a game. 5.5 rebounds. Are you kidding me? You're 7 feet
crazy.
tall. Fucking reach up and grab the goddamn thing.
Drop it in.
Yeah, the team though, 55-27 under what looked like a tired father of 8, fucking Jerry Sloan. Jerry Sloan just looked like the most tired,
exhausted,
silver-haired, middle-aged, white bags under his eyes. For Christ's sake! But he looked great. He looked like a cool-ass uncle that would tell you fucking fun shit and cool jokes and about cutting ears off in Vietnam or something, and you'd be like, Jesus, now I see why you're wrong, Uncle. Now I see what's wrong with you, Uncle Jerry. That's why you're staring out into the distance.
Couldn't pick a more perfect man to be in Salt Lake City.
Yeah, just everything's a. Yeah, I love Jerry Sloan. He
was
awesome.
So good at what he did too.
Fuck, they were good forever. He left, and then look what happened.
Between Brian Russell and that other fucking guy that shot threes, Shandon Anderson.
Yeah,
they were great.
He was pretty damn impressive as a coach. That year, they go 55-27.
Yeah.
They were still a good team. They win the first round of the playoffs against the Sonics. So a little go fuck yourself to your old team. That was a 5-game series, and then they lose to the Trailblazers in 5 in the next series.
That was some criminals.
That was a bunch of criminals.
Holy
some J.R. Ryder shit. Some Stoudemire.
Rod Strickland.
Yeah, Rod Strickland. We'll talk about Rod Strickland.
He's a monster.
We've had him we've almost done him about 3 times so far. So he's coming up. Don't worry.
Okay.
$2 million this year for Olden.
That's great.
So not too shabby.
Yeah.
Now he's fucking moron. November 11th, 2000.
Yeah.
He is charged with impersonating a police officer and disorderly conduct.
You got to be kidding me.
Stemming from a traffic dispute in Salt Lake City.
Why did they always do this?
This is some Dexter Manley shit right here. Because you get angry in traffic and you have no recourse outside of pulling a person out of their car and beating the shit out of them.
Right.
They have this honorary badge that they've been given.
So he got that.
So yeah, he was the same thing as Dexter Manley.
God damn it.
He had the honorary badge. Somebody cut him off. He got pissed off, fucking chased him down and said, I have a... Yeah, he flashed a badge at them, was pissed off after he got cut off in traffic.
Is that what he thought that meant? Like
he knows better.
Why did he get the badge?
They give him, and I don't think they go out and fight crime. Right. I feel like they're like, this is, you can't actually do anything. This is just honorary.
This
it's
is us
fun.
telling us we like you.
We like you. Right. You're part of the community.
You get pulled over, you show it, maybe they're lenient.
Maybe they cut that ticket, but you can't pull other people over. That's not how this works. He's starting drug investigations. I've been watching here. I see the whole setup. He's giving him the money, and then this guy's handing off the shit around the corner. Right. Let's get a wire up. Let's do this, guys. Come on. Where's Bubbles? We need to put hats on drug dealers and find out who's who. It's a deep cut wire reference. Deep cut. So,
Jesus Christ.
At this point here, he's charged with this. The prosecutor said that he chased another motorist down after he'd been cut off in traffic.
That's not how it works, Olden.
But the Utah Jazz president, Dennis Haslam, you'd imagine he would be pissed off about this. Yeah. You dumb, stupid fuck. Why would you do that? I guess it's better than pulling a gun on your girl. At least you didn't pull a gun on him.
It's true.
But he says this is the most silver-haired, middle-aged statement I've ever fucking heard in my life. This is competition for all-time most silver statement ever. Quote, Polynice's version of the incident affirms that he did nothing wrong, and he is confident that this will be resolved shortly. I don't see this as a big deal. Frankly, I look at Olden as possibly a victim. That we are to think he tried to impersonate himself as a police officer is pretty silly.
Impersonate himself?
That makes no sense.
Or a police officer.
That's ridiculous. Haslam explained, quote, Olden identified himself as a member of the Utah Jazz and pulled out his wallet as I understand it to say, I'm Olden Polynice of the Jazz. Okay. You're 7 feet tall and you're in Utah and you're black. You don't need to.
We know you play
There's
sports.
No proof. Right. You just say, I play for the Jazz, and they go, oh, that's okay. We were really fucking... We couldn't imagine.
How could we?
He said, how'd we convert him? Fuck, not
so
bad.
He has a wallet with one side of it has a badge, and the other side has his driver's license.
Jazz ID.
And everybody's going to look at that before they see a fucking badge?
That's what
Fuck
they
out
said.
of here, Haslam.
Not quite.
I'm Olden Polynice. Okay, Detective Polynice. That's what I'm going to say to this fucking guy.
But this guy... Fucking no problem.
What a dipshit.
A police spokesman said this isn't the first time he's done this either, which is fucking amazing. It's an honorary badge from the LA police. It's the LAPD, too. It's not even Salt Lake City.
You're out of jurisdiction,
You're not even in the right city. They're like, Why is this giant guy who plays for the Jazz have a out-of-town badge? And he's pulled. What the fuck is happening right now?
That's amazing.
Probably just pulled over out of curiosity.
Who do you think you are, fucking?
Yeah.
You think you are Eddie Murphy? You're just gonna Detroit officer just gonna show up in L.A. and now you can arrest people?
That's fine. Yeah,
you
no
idiots.
problem. I'm gonna take down the whole operation.
Tell me more, Axel Foley.
Me and Judge Reinhold are gonna take this whole thing down. No problem. The police spokesman said that Polynice followed a couple to their home.
Oh, no.
Now, keep in mind, he's the victim, Olden.
Yeah.
Followed them to their home where he whipped out the badge, told them he was a cop, and argued with them several fucking times, and then left. After that, before police arrived, they said, well, we're going to call the cops. And then he drove away, and the couple wrote down his license plate number. They track him down, and he's arrested with one count of impersonating an officer, one count of disorderly conduct for acting like an asshole in their driveway.
And by this time of his career, he's so fucking forgettable. Like,
nobody cares anymore.
Yeah, he's so useless to anybody's memory. This guy pulls you up, and then these people get to tell their friends, do you guys remember Olden Polynice? Do you remember that?
He's been on the Jazz for 1 year, averaging 5 points a game, so they don't know. And they said they didn't know who the fuck he was.
He pulled me over.
Yeah.
You guys aren't going to believe this.
He followed me to my home.
He's the starting power forward. I don't know if you guys know that.
Center.
Starting center.
Wow, right in the middle. Right in the middle. Big guy.
Somehow he's got he's got Ostertag on the bench. I don't know how it happened.
So, if convicted, he could get 9 months in jail and more than $2,000 in fines.
What a dipshit.
So he's sitting there at home after that, fucking enraged, looking to pull somebody over. He's got his girlfriend next to him, who's probably scared shitless because now he's pissed off, and he's like, I would rather he take it out on motorists and things rather than knock my fucking eyeshadow into the drywall. This is bad stuff. Right. He's sitting there fucking angry, and when you're angry, you don't know what to do. And a lot of times, like, people will cut their hair when they're angry, or they'll do all this. Yeah. He has a different reaction, though. He gets all new furniture, everything, and to give it to him, and knocking at his door is Dexter Manley, interior designer from New York City. And he says, how is it you've come to arrive here? Seriously, I don't. Okay. All right. You came, your feet were all crooked and weird and stuff. Like, that's right there. Super weird and like not, it's not sexy. I'll be honest with you right away, but you fixed it and that's good. And you come here and you make all this money and everything's fine. You're pulling guns on people. What are you doing? You're not a police officer. First of all, number one, sir, if you want to be a police officer, you should quit your job where you make $3 million a year and be a police officer. Until then, you're just acting like an asshole. You, sir, are white trash. I'm sorry. You are.
Actually white trash.
I don't care if you're from Haiti or Africa or the North Pole. It doesn't matter to me. White trash is white trash. It's behavior, and that's you, sir. Goodbye. Your place is fucked up too. I'm sorry. All these Haitian flags everywhere. Goodbye. Poof. And a poof of purple glitter and feathered boas. He's gone. And
we left some Jergens by the door.
A little bit. Here you go. You're very ashy. You're ashing up the entire place. I'm sorry. Okay, Dexter. Let's have a good one. Bye. Thanks, guys. Thank you, Dexter. We appreciate it. Thanks, Dexter. Man, he's tough to get here, but he spruced up the place while he was here too. That's good for him.
Sometimes it's tough to get rid of him.
He's tough to get rid of him. He'll hang around a long time. He likes to talk some shit. You never know.
Confuse the fuck out of you.
That's what he does. He confused Olden a lot. He blamed his girlfriend, his wife for it. He knocked her around a little bit. She said she didn't know anything about it. Whatever. So December 8th, 2000, a misdemeanor complaint is filed. This is amazing, by a Mark and Patty Schneller, who were driving downtown Salt Lake City on September 13th. This is from a few months ago, when a car speeds past them and almost hits them. Schneller responds by giving the guy the finger who cut him off. The other car stops. Okay. Now this guy stops and gets out of the car. Olden Polynice gets out of the car, who they recognize as a member of the Utah Jazz. They're like, holy shit, that's the Utah Jazz Center. He doesn't say, hi, I am Olden Polynice of the Jazz. Would you like box seats to the game tonight? He instead says, quote, I'm with the California Sheriff's Office and I could have you arrested. Jesus. He tells them, and shows the badge from LA. They should have fucking taken it away the first time. What the fuck is going
still
on?
Have it.
So that ends up happening. He threatens them. He flashes the badge, drives away. Guess what they do? Write down his fucking license plate number and turn his ass in.
Right.
And he's arrested for that. His lawyer, Wally Bugden, said, quote, all I can say right now is it's a serious matter. I guess so. This is the second time in a fucking month. We're going to respond in court. We're going to work toward trying to resolve both of these cases and taking this man's fucking stupid honorary badge away from him.
Repeat offender. He cannot stop.
What are you, a child? Leave the fake badge at home. What else do you have? You put spurs on your shoes? What's going on?
Idiot.
You're a fucking moron. You're not the sheriff.
You got a cap gun around your waist?
You're not the sheriff, dummy. Stop it. Fuck, man. Maximum penalty for this is 6 months in jail and an $1,850 fine. So this is not wonderful.
Give him the foam, that little foam star, and then take that Sharpie from the bad one's pail and write fucking sheriff on that. Right.
In charge of shit. Can pull you over and have you arrested and then go, here you go, Olden. Why, thank you. And he goes, I'm going to pull people over and have them arrested. So the 2000-2001 Jazz, he starts 79 games that year.
Wow.
They play 81. He starts 79. You know what he averages? 5.3 points a game.
Terrible.
Exact same as last year. 79 games started, 5.3 points a game. Less rebounds, though. 4.7 rebounds a game. Jeez, that's fucking quit already. That is terrible.
And he made more money, didn't he?
And he made $2,200,000 more than last year. That is 53-29 for the team. They lose in the first round of the playoffs against the Mavericks there. So it's starting to turn downhill for the Jazz. Now, sometime...
That was a good Mavericks team.
They were good. Yeah, they were starting to get good at that point. They were starting to get fun. Yeah, they were starting... No, Kid was gone by then, wasn't he?
What year was this?
No, 99, 2001.
Okay.
Yeah, that was around the time where Nash came, they made the switch. That was when both lineups of the Suns and Mavericks were just all hodgepodges of each other's teams. They just switched players.
It's like the team's fucked.
It was so weird. They would sign, all their free agent would sign with one and sign with the other. They trade between each other. It was like they had their own little league going on. So fun. Both of them sucked. It's like, somebody stop fucking with each other. Don't sign Tom Gugliotta, please. Fuck, I know he's from the Timberwolves, but still,
you're going to end up paying $88 million over 2 years for nothing.
For a fucking white guy who sucks. For a white power forward. Enjoy.
Fuck you for 12 years.
They've always been good. Yeah. Whenever I think of the top power forwards of the last 30 years, all white.
Every time I think of
never mind. None of them are white. That's right. Fuck. Kevin McHale, and he was kind of a center. And he was a fucking plotting piece of shit. Sorry, Celtics fans, but you know he was.
He was a clumsy fuck, too.
Clumsy fuck. So
that
anyway.
whole team, whatever. It
won,
but
they won.
It was
ugly.
It was rooted in clumsy white. The whole fucking thing.
Well, that's Boston.
Yeah.
So... we love you, Boston. After last week, you can take that.
You got no athletes. That's what it is. There's nothing athletic there.
No, there isn't.
You.
And I'm sorry. I know he's not from there. We mentioned Tom Brady, but if Tom Brady, he's fucking on whatever HGH is the new, whatever Barry Bonds was taking, that was the new thing then. The equivalent of that is now, don't give me this shit. He's just an amazing, his diet, it's his fucking diet, it's amazing. He never even has a beer. He won't even have one beer. Horse shit. Right. He'll have a beer if it's jacked with HGH. He's in his fucking 40s, and he's like, I'm in the best shape of my life. Yes, you know what does that? Drugs. That's the only thing that does that.
It isn't hot model pussy, I'll tell you that right now.
He's not, and he was never a top tier athlete. He's only declined this much. He was a fucking schlubby, super slow, shitbag, non-athletic white quarterback. Are you fucking kidding me? You can't even roll out, that fucking guy. You're going to tell me he's a fuck you, fuck your mother, and fuck whatever the syringe going into his ass is, and fuck the guy who's putting it there. I assume the same guy who deflated the footballs. Maybe he's using the same needle.
Probably.
Fuck both of them. Anyway,
it's under high pressure what's ever going in there.
It does. Yeah. It drives me nuts. Anyway, he ends up early 2001. He accepts a plea agreement, agreeing to pay $1,000 in fines and complete 130 hours of community service and undergo anger management counseling for his road rage incidents of that shit. May 21st, is when they officially give him the sentence for that. Polynice issues a public apology. Yeah. in that after this whole thing, he comes clean. He says, quote, I want to be a positive role model for the community.
How about you apologize to the L.A. County Sheriff whose badge you
them.
have?
Yeah,
right.
And give it back to them.
Right.
I'd like to apologize and publicly renounce my membership to the L.A. Sheriff's Department.
Throw that badge in a manila envelope with whatever plagiarized apology you throw in there.
And then do that. Yeah.
Fuck you.
That you photocopied off. So then he does something even stupider. June of 2001, he opts out of the final year of his contract for the Jazz. Okay. This was a $2.4 million contract. This is a guy who averaged 5 points and 4.5 rebounds a fucking game last year.
I can get more somewhere else.
Starting. He said he thought it would make him more valuable. He's 36 years old and pretty much garbage. The Jazz vice president said no hard feelings. It's a business decision on his part. He says that, he still thinks there's a good chance he can play for the Jazz. Everything's going to be fine. Then July 23rd, 2001, he's charged in court with one count of assault from a golf course incident.
What?
This is at the Old Mill Golf Course. This takes place.
He can golf.
Polynice, I don't know how. He's so goddamn tall. He hit another golfer in the face and spit on him.
Oh, boy.
Which I think that's considered outside the margins of acceptable behavior at a country club, I believe.
So,
I think the spitting, the punching they'll let go, but once you spit, they're like, there's no spitting on the course, sir, and they kick him off.
Spitting in Haiti is I
think it's a compliment at that point. You spit on the floor and people go, thank you. That means that he likes our floor.
Or it's
dinner was good.
Or it's attempted murder.
Or
with
it's attempted,
AIDS.
You never know. Not in saliva, Jimmy. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but
I don't want tweets going, you can't get HIV from saliva. We know you can't get HIV from
why are you
saliva.
spitting on cops with it?
These are jokes.
Right.
That's what happens. So he was golfing with 3 people when he realized he lost his scorecard. Oh, darn. Lost my scorecard.
Maybe
Where the fuck is
nose.
it? I bet I can find it. Yeah, I bet if I hit that guy, it'll come out of his mouth like a Pez dispenser.
Right.
Maybe that's what'll happen. So what he does, he's walking back to the previous hole when he's hit on the arm by a golf ball because he just walked onto a fucking golf course. Right. Yeah. So there was somebody who was making a chip shot. It wasn't a drive. It was a little chip shot, bounced off his arm. Yeah. It didn't hurt him. He got super pissed off though and attacked this guy. They said that Polynice went chest to chest with this other guy, and then Olden pushed the guy, and Olden ends up punching him in the face and spitting on him.
Wow.
Punching him in the face and the ribs, and then spit on him as he lay on the ground.
Where was that dude's golf club?
Yeah, no shit.
You just chipped,
yeah,
bro.
hey, motherfucker, get back. He probably put it back in his bag and then started walking, and then this guy's in his face. But yeah, he said that they punched him in the ribs and face and dropped the guy, and then spit on him while he's on the ground like a fucking mob boss.
Where's my scorecard, motherfucker?
Who just killed a rat. Like, what the fuck is happening? A lawyer for Polynice, of course, said that's absolutely ridiculous. Right. Obviously, a normal golfer saw a 7-foot-tall giant man and said, fuck you, bro, I'm going to fuck you up. And then, Olden had to defend himself. Right. That's how it works here. He said that these 3 companions and this other man surrounded Olden.
Oh, boy.
Because you find the biggest guy it's like prison.
Right.
That's what the golf course is like. It's
Every
like
time.
prison.
Yeah.
When you get a foursome together, you got to find the biggest guy on the course, surround him like a pack of fucking wolves, and fuck him up, and that way you establish supremacy.
It's not lowest scorecard.
No,
wins.
I was going to say
it's biggest dude slaughtered wins.
How do you think handicaps are established? They're by how many large men you handicap, meaning put in a wheelchair. So they're giving it their best shot. They said that this is what happened. This was nothing. Then the lawyer says, quote, this was nothing more or nothing less than some guys in the sandbox not playing nicely.
Oh, my God.
Or assaulting a smaller man and spitting on him after you assault him. Olden says he doesn't understand what happened. He said that he was mad and the guy said he tried to apologize to Polynice for hitting him with the golf ball and he wouldn't accept the apology. Yeah. He just wanted to pummel him. So there we go. They said it's a he said, she said type of situation. It's also all the witnesses that saw it. So it's a all of them said or him.
It's also he and bloody he said. You know
That's the other thing. One man has spit on him.
Right.
So I think we can fucking... Whoever's got spit on him is telling the truth.
There's a guy that's out cold and has saliva all over his face.
Yeah. So that's fucking funny. And Polynice says in court, his excuse is that someone's trying to take advantage of his status as a professional athlete to get money.
All
and
right.
the court says, well, well, if, no, you punched him.
Yeah.
I don't think he said, I bet I can get him to punch me. Watch this, and then hit a golf ball into him. Because he'd be a fucking professional if he could do that shit.
He is Johnny Knoxville.
Yeah, and it's funny. They asked Kevin O'Connor, the Jazz vice president. Keep in mind, this is a month after this idiot opted out of 2.4 guarantee, which the Jazz probably went, oh, thank fuck. We don't have to pay this idiot. This is what he says, quote, he is certainly not under contract and being paid by us. He's not a member of the Utah Jazz right now, so it would be unfair for me to comment on that at all. He said, I don't know shit.
Don't look at me.
Not on this fucking team. Next question.
Matter of fact, his $2.4 million wash bonused me $100,000. I have no idea who that is.
No shit, dude. So I'm happy. Happy to get it, though. June 25th, 2002, he's in court. He's convicted of the misdemeanor assault for the golf course incident, which we talked about. Fucking unreal. He said he felt threatened because there was 4 men in the group. He admitting pushing the man twice and once in the face, but he didn't say he punched and spit on him.
Pushed a man in the face?
Yeah, he said he mushed him, basically.
Yeah, but
he mushed him. That's a pretty aggressive
inciting,
move.
yeah.
That's inciting. You deserve to get punched in the face after that. The jury did not believe him, obviously, because he's enormous and the other guy's like 5'10", and not in professional athlete shape. Right. He faces up to 6 months in jail and $1,000 fine when he's sentenced. He ends up not getting any of that, though. October 15th, 2002, the 76ers sign him.
That's right.
They're going to give him a goddamn shot. He says, quote, as soon as I heard the lady on the phone saying, give Coach Brown a call, I don't even think I waited to hear the last number. He said, I just wanted the opportunity to get back into the NBA.
It was Larry Brown, not Hugh.
Yeah, Larry Brown, yeah. I still feel like I have so much to offer, and I'm just really glad I'm being given an opportunity here. He says, Larry just wants me to come in and work hard and play, and that's the same thing I guaranteed him. That's that I'll give 150% every night. What I can provide to this team is some toughness, rebounding, defense. These things are the trademarks of mine, things I know I can do. I'm not like Kentucky Fried Chicken trying to do hamburgers. I'm going to do chicken.
All right.
That's his. So he's going to do chicken.
150%, James.
150%.
Not 110.
That's called chicken effort right there. That's what I call chicken effort. Give that your best chicken try. And that's a lot of effort.
I'm going to give you the breast, not the wing.
That's right. He said he reconnected with his family in the off time and the time he's had off. He said he did a lot of babysitting, spending time with his kids. Yeah. He said, quote, a lot of babysitting, a lot of spending time with my kids. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
What?
I had to sit with my kids, which I thought was going to be shitty, and I didn't even drown any of them. Like, what? As much as I missed basketball, there were bigger things in my life. Yeah. Wow, I guess so.
I've punched their mom so many times. They look just like her, right? And I thought that when I'd see him, I'd be like, I have to punch this kid.
I'm going to punch this kid. It came out of her.
Didn't even pull a gun on him.
I never pulled a gun. I didn't threaten him to shoot him in the leg.
Didn't even show him a badge.
The one hit me with a ball one time, didn't punch him or spit on him, which is pretty impressive because I wanted to spit. I'll tell you that.
I was really impressed with myself.
I wanted to kick him down because he's close to the ground, but then I was going to spit. He says, though, he's ready. He's ready to go. He is just wants to get in game shape, and he's ready to fucking rip it up. And then right before the season, the Sixers release him.
Amazing.
He doesn't play for them for shit. And in late 2002, he ends up with the Harlem Globetrotters.
Oh, no.
He plays with them. This is when the Globetrotters tried to be serious again. Yeah. Like late 90s and 2000s, they stopped being, they'd still do some tricks, but they would actually like beat the shit out of college teams and shit like that. Like they would actually, like they were actually good again, kind of, because they just got silly for a long time.
Yeah, but it's like, how many fucking tricks with a basketball can you do?
Now it's just a bunch of guys with cool uniforms that actually are good. Yeah. So he's played for them actually when they were in a good period. He also, this is when he starts hooking up with some lousy teams here. 2002, 2003, he hooks up with the Grand Rapids Hoops.
Oh, no.
Ooh, not good here.
What has he done?
Grand Rapids, Michigan. Their first season was 1989. Final season, 2003. This year, defunct basketball team. February 10th, 2003, he fails to appear in court for a retrial on his assault charge. And a judge reinstates his original conviction. So he won a retrial and then didn't show up for it.
Dummy.
He appealed for a fucking retrial and they said, okay, this day. And he went, fuck it, never mind.
His worst decisions now have started since he said, I don't want $2.4 million.
I don't want that at all. That's stupid. So, fuck, man.
How do you go to fucking Grand Rapids after the Utah Jazz?
That's off. And the Globetrotters even, or at least they're famous.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of a cool thing.
How do you wind up in Grand Rapids,
sad.
Basketball team.
He's sentenced to serve the original 2 years probation for the misdemeanor charge of the golf course incident. Here, it's also 240 hours of community service, anger management classes. Again, he's going to be becoming a regular there, and also he's ordered to pay a fine. And on top of all that, he's very busy. Grand Rapids Hoops, fines, not showing up for retrials, playing for the Pennsylvania Valley Dogs of the USBL, located in Whitehall Township, Pennsylvania.
Jesus.
Holy shit. They operate from 99 to 2006, which is shocking that they ever did that.
Insane.
Randy Moss suited up for one game with them, scoring 7 points.
You took the Minnesota Vikings whiteout.
Yep, on May 21st. No, this was May 21st, 2001. Yeah, he was still at the top of his game here. Former Survivor contestant Gervais Peterson became co-owner of this team.
Oh, no.
And later that year in 2006, after he bought the team, or she, is it a guy? Or I don't know. I have no
Your
fucking
boss
idea.
ate a Madagascar hissing beetle.
And you're excited about that's what you did.
What
you're like,
the fuck?
I shit in a hole for 3 weeks. Respect me. Like, I don't think so.
I threw a dart at a target to try to stay on the island.
Yeah.
And I'm the guy that you answer to.
Yeah. I sign your checks. Well, you have confidence in me that I have a good business model? No, I don't.
I want a Pontiac Aztec.
Fuck. Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Right there. That's everything. Never mind shitting in the hole. Shitting in the Aztec is better. Just shit right into the moonroof. So later that year, though, this Peterson encountered financial difficulties and the team folded.
Yeah.
So they were like, they didn't survive that shit. That's pretty fucking funny. The Survivor guy kills a team, does not survive a season with them. It's replaced by the Albany Patroons. Patroons. They did win the USBL championship in 2004, and 2003 they won the Eastern Division Finals, but lost the championship series there.
That makes sense.
Also, he played for the Gary Steelheads. Yeah, for the International Basketball League.
Indiana?
I believe it's Gary, Indiana. They played their home games at the Genesis Convention Center, and they were the Eastern Conference champions of the 2006, whatever the fuck.
Doesn't fucking
And they're
matter.
defunct in 2008, so it doesn't matter. During this time, Olden finds religion.
Does he?
Which is another crime and sports rule that he's breaking now. He has not named a son Junior, thankfully, but he definitely finds religion in here, and everything's about God.
There's no way he's going back home.
No. He finds Jesus. He's all about Jesus. He's in court April 9th, 2003. He had just spent two days in jail for his previous shit that went on for missing the retrial and all that shit. And he's in court to plead guilty for disturbing the peace in the hallway of the court the last time he was in court, when he had a confrontation with city attorney Laura Miller when she was prosecuting him for the golf course assault.
Because she's a woman. He'll punch her.
That's the thing. Well, what he did was he fucking chased her down into the hallway, yelling obscenities at her after the hearing, which you are not allowed to menace a prosecutor, especially in the hallway, chasing them, yelling obscenities at them. You're not allowed to do that. The judge said, quote, "You may not chase a public official down the hallway yelling obscenities. It makes the community uncomfortable."
A little bit.
It makes everyone uncomfortable. He says that, this is funny, he gets out of this, when he's done, he goes outside to reporters and tells him, trouble with the law are over. I'm good now. He says, from now on, I'll just run away from situations.
Okay.
Fine. Well, don't be the aggressor. He pays his fine. He pleads guilty. As he's pleading guilty to this infraction with the prosecutor, the defense attorney said, "You plead guilty, right, Olden?" And Polynice said, quote, "I don't feel good about it, but I plead guilty." Shut the fuck up. I don't feel good about it.
Get the fuck out of here. That I'm a piece of shit, but yeah, I did it.
He told the judge that he was offended because Miller called him a, quote, an angry black man during the last trial, which you probably shouldn't say in court.
Yeah.
But you say that, you yell at the judge that's fucked up. You have your lawyer object. You don't chase them into the hallway, causing yourself more legal problems.
Right.
Although you shouldn't probably call someone an angry black man while you're prosecuting them first. So I just feel like that's
kind of a racist thing.
Angry man is fine.
Right.
That'll do.
Tagging it with black.
I don't think that's necessary. Yeah.
You just say angry man and point at him. How about the black guy?
Angry 7 foot tall man. That's worse. What's more to this? This is what's funny to this woman.
Yeah.
Black is more scary than ginormous. Right. That's racist. That's the fucking core of race. Yeah. Like I'm more scared of someone because they're black than because they're enormous and could crush me and break me in half. That means you're fucking super racist. So Not great there. He says he got pissed off at that, and Miller maintained that she referred to him only as an angry 7-foot man, and he says it was a black man. There should be court records that will clear that right up.
There's a stenographer that did that shit in shorthand.
Yeah, well, and also he says that in the hallway, Polynice said that he hated living in Utah because of people like you, and she replied, quote, then why don't you leave?
Yeah.
Like, you have enough fucking money.
Out of here, you crazy man.
So, yeah, he said that Miller was telling him that he was not welcome here and that I ought to get out of Salt Lake City. Quote, I was offended. I am an American. I have rights too. I refuse to be run out of this city. I love this city. There are some good people here.
Good.
There was people with pitchforks running him out. There was one lady that said, if you don't like it, then leave.
Right.
She's an asshole.
After you've scared her.
Yeah, she's an asshole.
Yeah.
So what? August 4th, 2003, he signs as a free agent with the Clippers. Why would they sign him?
What are they doing?
What would you sign a 40-year-old fucking guy who hasn't played in 2 years and sucked the last time he played?
Globetrotters, then the Hoops and the Steelheads.
Ridiculous.
It's over for him.
He said, quote, if this is my final year in the NBA, then that's what it is. I would hope it is. He said he's found religion during the 2 seasons not in the league, and he says, quote, it's not up to me anymore. The big man has the plan. Quote,
you're the big man.
If he says it's my last year as far as the NBA, then I'll go overseas and play. I'm not done playing. I'm in great shape. I look at Kevin Willis. He's 41 years old and still playing for the Spurs. So I know I can get at least 2-3 more years in, whether it's in the NBA or somewhere else.
Yeah, but remember that Kevin Willis was the strongest man in the NBA at one point. And he hung on to that for so long.
Yeah, this was a different story.
That's
here.
An entirely different dude.
He said, the main motivation was I wasn't done. That was it in a nutshell. I wasn't done. I wasn't retired. I couldn't get on a team. Well, neither can I.
Right.
I'm not retired either, but I'm having trouble landing a spot on a team. If anyone's interested, sign me for a 10-day contract. Give me a run. Give me a try. I have a hoop in the backyard. I've been practicing lately with my son.
Give it a shot.
He's only 11, but he's played some good D, sticky. So I think I might be able to do it.
Got a good elbow in my ribs.
It's true. That's why he said, that's why I went to the CBA, Globetrotters, and the USBL. I love playing basketball, so I was willing to do whatever I had to do just to stay in shape and keep playing. It's basically the love of the game. That year, this Clippers is the Matt Barnes, Elton Brand, that Matt Chris Kaman,
it's an ugly team.
Glenn Rice, Olden Polynice, as we've talked about Glenn Rice in lots of detail.
At that point,
Corey Maggette.
It's over for him.
Yeah, Eddie House, the ASU guy who sucked in the whatever.
Well, he got a championship. Motherfucker's got a ring in Miami, I think, right?
Miami, I believe.
Or Boston.
Shit, now
I don't remember. He married Mike Bibby's sister.
That's right. Yep. Yeah, it's a little weird royalty basketball.
Bizarre.
Weird basketball children. So he plays this year up until February 26th when he is waived by the Clippers. So he doesn't make it the whole year, but he makes $1,070,000.
My Christ.
Which is not too fucking shabby.
Nothing.
No, and the team ends up finishing 28 and 54, so it doesn't fucking matter anyway. They were terrible that year.
Call it a wash on your fucking coffin and getting out of Utah.
Not bad.
You made that money back.
He only plays in 2 games that year for them. Starts 0, averages 6 minutes of a game in these 2 games, has 0.0 points, and has 1 total rebound.
1.7.
Well, 1 rebound in each game, so 2 total rebounds.
$1.7 million.
$1,070,000. So still over $1 million.
Give me $500,000. I'll duplicate those numbers.
I can score 0 points. I could get a rebound by accident.
Absolutely.
A ball bounce come to you. Anybody could get that.
Yep.
Once again, your grandmother could score no points and have a ball hit her in the chest and have her catch it by accident.
$500,000, Phoenix. I'm in.
Let's go. Sign us both.
Yeah.
And you know what? They could use it for the draw.
I'll bet we get more people than they do.
We get a few people in the building for him. So this year, he is done in the NBA. His career stats, he plays in 1,058 games. He averaged 23.5 minutes a game. He averages 7.8 points a game in his career, 6.7 rebounds, 1.1 blocks. That's
his career.
That's his career stats.
Not Hall of Fame worthy.
Well, actually, I looked on basketballreference.com where it has your Hall of Fame probability based on a complicated math algorithm, and his Hall of Fame probability is 0.0%. So I would say pretty strong bet that he's not going.
That is tough.
Not bad. That's rough. Not even a glimmer of hope. Zero.
So much money though.
Total money made $21,190,000, which is pretty fucking good.
Wow.
Not bad.
Almost in the bad one's bin.
Almost in the bad one's bin.
Over $20 million.
Over $20 million he ends up making, which is fucking not bad for a disabled kid from Haiti. That's pretty fucking good. 2004, he plays again. He plays for a few teams here. That's the Long Beach Jam, I think he plays for. They end up turning into the Bakersfield Jam, and then they're the Northern Arizona Suns now.
Oh, boy.
That was what they are. In 2016, they moved up there in Prescott Valley. I had no idea they had a team up there.
Didn't know either.
Also played for the Michigan Mayhem. They're from Muskegon, Michigan. That's the CBA again, Continental, not Canadian. They play their home games at the L.C. Walker Arena, and they announced on June 22nd, 2006 that they would not return for a third season. Another defunct team. 2005, he is the player/assistant coach of the Los Angeles Aftershock of the ABA. It's a team in the ABA. The only season was 2004-2005, and then they fall.
He got 1 year.
So yeah, and also the Long Beach Breakers. At that point, he does some coaching, playing for in 2005. So, I mean, all these teams have folded. Yeah. I feel like it's his fault, even though it's not. Yeah. Men have been spit on and punched. Women have been had guns pulled on them, had their makeup smeared on the drywall. People have been chased down in fucking traffic. Teams have wasted millions of dollars. I feel bad for all these people, Jimmy, but not nearly as bad as, thankfully, fucking nobody named Olden Polynice. There's no one else on earth. I feel as bad for him because he's ugly and his name's Olden Polynice. So, but
I
he's
feel
rich.
worse and worst for everybody in the NBA that wasted that much money on this man.
That's what I mean. They have
for
to feel like
numbers
we wasted
in a career, that
Utah,
money is pissed away.
That $2.4 million had to be the best feeling $2.4 million.
I hope they bought some beautiful house and just called it the Olden Palace or something.
At that point, he was still married to Rachel. They had sons Nicholas and Chase, and they had two daughters, Alexis and Gabriella, and he also had two daugers from previous relationships. Six kids. Tiara and Armani from the previous relationships. May 21st, 2013, a reporter tweets, source confirms Clippers have told Vinny Del Negro he will not be offered a new contract as head coach back then. Olden responds with, at this person, quote, I'm available. I can do for Clippers what Mark Jackson did for Warriors.
No, you can't.
Hashtag new blood.
I can get some of the greatest players of this era on that team.
You know it. I will pull guns on them and spit on them.
I will force Steph Curry to shoot threes for us.
I can do it. So no one says anything. So then he responds again and says,
his own tweet,
quote, I actually have coaching experience, unlike Mark when he was hired. So now he's, please somebody respond to me. Yeah, and they weren't, I think he had 2 likes on that last one he did. So it didn't quite work out for him
How's
that
his
way.
Follower base?
He's not very good. He's at Olden Polynice 1.
Okay.
So he's pretty boring. He doesn't do much. October 18th, 2013, they have a goodwill mission, the NBA Retired Players Association. They go on a goodwill mission to Haiti, and he goes there too with a bunch of different players and a bunch of alumni of the NBA, Harlem Globetrotters, and WNBA, in case they wanted to be, in case there were some sleep problems there, they needed that. They also included Mario Elie, who is a Haitian, which I had no fucking idea he was Haitian.
Really?
Olden Polynice, LaRue Martin, Dwight Davis, Harvey Catchings, and Eldridge Recantsner, who was on the Hawks there. Now, SportyInsider.com has the 21 worst draft picks of all time, and Olden is number 6 on that one. Not great. Could have had a bunch of really good players after him.
Number 6.
Number 6 all time. Greg Oden is number 1, by the way.
Course.
Yeah, obviously.
Those knees really fucked him.
He was fucked there. November of 2015, he says he has his dream job. His dream job, he's serving his second year as an ambassador for the 31 Days Project, an annual campaign held to educate the public about disability employment issues, which impact nearly 20% of U.S. citizens, according to him. He quotes President Obama saying, Americans with disabilities make up almost 1/5 of our population, but are unemployed at a rate that is twice that of people without disabilities. He says that in an attempt to decrease this ratio, 31 Days encourages employers to make a concerted effort to take action and employ qualified individuals with disabilities for 31 days every October, and then go right back to
right back to
turning their chair around and wheeling them out the door when they come back in.
Right back to throwing that application in the garbage.
Yep, he says one of his favorite past experiences has been hosting youth basketball camps that, quote, integrate mentally and physically challenged individuals with non-mentally and physically challenged individuals. How do you do that via basketball?
Yeah.
How do you have physically challenged people playing basketball with people with no physical disabilities? That's not the same.
Runs around screaming cunt and can't play a bit.
That's not the same.
Can't keep his attention.
While people are just dunking, running drills back and forth up across the floor.
He's
That's
drop kicking the ball, screaming cunt.
Jesus Christ, man.
I want to watch that. That is more exciting than the WNBA. I will watch that game.
That would be fucking exciting. You got a point there. He says that the camps reduce the stigma of people with this associated with people with disabilities by creating a positive environment. He said, quote, all the kids had fun and became friends. It really made a difference. Even though a lot of kids weren't skilled, these kids were fucking terrible. He said it was just a way to bring kids together. He said it's important to him that he's practicing what he's preaching. He says it's about following that path on a consistent basis. What I'm talking about is what I do on a daily basis. It's not a one-time thing. Right. Just like getting arrested. I have not been arrested every day, so it's fine. He does like... No, so sorry. What's that?
There's one organization that just hires everybody with
whoever will do it.
A handicap, and that is the WNBA.
Yeah, they do it. That's
they don't have
there.
a dick. That's a handicap.
That's like the most terrible dad joke. That's like if you could put dad jokes in a bazooka wrapper, that would be it. What's the one profession where everybody's got a disability? The WNBA. None of them have dicks. Wee-hoo, bing, ding, diddly doo. And then you fucking blow on your jug and that's what that sounded like.
And that fucking organization is awful.
Oh, man. He likes to gamble. So he's a man of God, except on the poker table. Then he'll throw down and take your fucking rent money at that point. He says he's so good at it.
Yeah.
He confidently says, quote, it's like cheating. I can't say who it is. They asked who big names he's one off of playing poker, but he said, you've got to read my book, which has not come out. Okay. I don't know when that's going to happen.
Can't wait to hear it.
He talked about somebody. He said that, I've taken a couple people. I've taken Martin Lawrence, Heavy D, may he rest in peace, Mark Jackson. I mean, I've taken a lot of guys, but I always give them their money back. Why would he give them their money back? That's bull. You do not. You're saying that.
Why are you playing the game?
Yeah, why would you do that? That's
and also,
bullshit.
Why are you taking more shots at Mark Jackson? What did Mark Jackson ever do to him?
He can't coach and he sucks at poker. Right. I have coaching experience and I'll fuck him up at poker. Tell you what, Mark, let's play poker for the Golden State Warriors job. What do you say? Maybe that's how Kerr got it.
Why does he hate him so much?
I don't understand it. He goes on to discuss his encounters with Michael Jordan. He said he plays all those guys. He played all those guys like Magic Johnson. I mean, that's what we do. We all love playing cards. We love gambling. Yeah, that's all NBA players do is play cards and gamble on the planes.
I heard that.
About Jordan, he said, quote, he's just good at everything. That's him. He's good at everything. Well, we saw during his basketball career that he didn't like to lose, and that's what made him so great. We can't all win. We can't all win, though. So, yeah, I guess not.
I don't know. Mike's been winning for fucking years.
He won for a long time.
Wins.
Apparently not on the golf course, but in poker, he's not bad. June of 2016, he's talking shit about LeBron.
Oh, my God.
He says, quote, he's not on that mountaintop. Stop it. He's got some great numbers. He's done some great things. I'm just saying, as far as killer instinct, he doesn't have that. He's still up there. He's still up there somewhere in the city. He's really good. He's a really good player, but I'm not calling him the greatest of all time. He said, even though Reggie Miller never won a championship, I'm taking Reggie Miller over LeBron James in an NBA Finals game because I know Reggie is going to give me in the moment when we're down. You're out of your fucking mind.
Idiot.
You know who wouldn't take that? Reggie Miller.
Yeah.
He'd say, you're a fucking moron. I would take one LeBron over three of me. All I did was shoot 3-pointers. I looked like a skeleton that had been like a fucking skeleton marionette that you taught to shoot 3-pointers.
Also,
fuck that.
Olden, you scored 7 points average for your career. Shut the fuck up.
So ridiculous. Jesus Christ. October of 2017, he's hanging out at the opening night for the Reno Bighorns of the G League.
Yeah.
The first 1,000 fans in attendance will get a special Kings t-shirt T-shirt with more giveaways and special entertainment planned throughout the game. The Kings and Bighorns will also be hosting a special Junior Kings Clinic at the Boys and Girls Club of Truckee Meadows.
Oh, my God.
White trash shit. Olden Polynice will be helping with the clinic, which will teach the fundamentals of basketball and healthy habits and to keep the safety on your gun when you yell at your girlfriend and threaten her. Can't get enough Olden Polynice.
Holy shit.
Holy
I can't believe this.
Basketball cards all over eBay. They're like 99 cents. I found an autograph 92-93 basketball card when he was on the Pistons. It's $7.99. Buy it now. Not bad. $3.50 shipping.
$7, same amount of points he scored career.
Fucking career. Not bad.
Wow.
If you really can't get enough, though, Amazon.com has an Olden Polynice 76ers black game-worn road jersey.
Yeah.
$500.
Oh, I thought you were going to say $5.
$500 plus $13.60 shipping. Only one order left in stock, Jimmy. Only one. Go get it. It's fucking. You're going to miss it, Jimmy. Come on.
Don't buy that.
And if you really can't get enough, go to, I think it's athletespeakers.com.
Oh, God.
And you can hire Olden Polynice to come wherever you want and talk to everybody about overcoming disabilities and never quitting, never saying die. And also, if a guy hits you with a golf ball, fuck him up because he meant that. That shit was disrespectful. Fuck that guy.
Anybody ever cuts you off in traffic, I'm going to photocopy this badge right here for you.
Pretend you're a cop.
Just tell
track
them
him down.
The LA County.
You'll never get arrested
Never.
for it. No one ever takes your license plate number and goes, 7-foot tall cop? I don't think so. That's Olden Polynice.
Wow.
Holy shit. No one ever knew about any of that shit. We didn't know what a crazy bastard he was.
I love that he said you can read my book later.
Yeah,
and then
never came out.
He
No
just
book.
hasn't. He hasn't found
never
one to
finished
play.
that screenplay from '93. You read it. It's just Shaq's book. You're like, he didn't go to LSU. What's going on here? I don't understand any of this.
And the
He was in
screenplay
Blue Chips.
Right,
Was
the
he in Blue
screenplay
Chips?
is Blue Chips.
Yeah, he's like, was he in Blue Chips? I don't think he was in Blue Chips. So that's Olden Polynice.
Holy shit.
Thank you guys for listening. If you want to help us out, if you like that story, it's very easy to help us out and tell us about that. You just go to iTunes, give us 5 stars, tell us you're following instructions, following directions, or whatever you want to say. It's not really for our ego or anything like that. Go to shutupandgivememurder.com.
Yes.
Obviously.
Right.
Do all of that. Things you can find there would be merchandise, shirts, cups, mugs, all that type of shit. New stuff coming every day. Also, any day now, tour information will pop up. We gave you all the cities earlier. And if you also want to find some links on that page, they will take you over to patreon.com/crimeinsports, which is where you go if you want to make a donation and become one of our producers who we have a long list of and who we love and respect and want to hug and make meals for and bring them breakfast in bed, but keep our eyes closed because we don't want to be weird about it. No. We're like a butler, very formal. Or you can go over to
call you by your last name.
That's what we'll do, Mr. or Mrs. or Ms. or whatever you prefer.
No guns.
No guns. No, we promise no gunplay. Nothing. We might spit on you, but that's totally different.
That's only when you ask for it.
That's right. Or you can go over to paypal.com, use our email address, crimeinsports@gmail.com to get a hold of us. You can get a hold of us at Crime and Sports on Twitter and Facebook and all that stuff, at Small Town Murder on Instagram, and all those links are at shutupandgivememurder.com. But never mind all of that, Jimmy, I would like you to hold a gun on me and whip out your badge and read me like my rights the list of the favorite goddamn most wonderful people in the world. Hit me with it, Jimmy.
This week's executive producers are Gavin McFarland, Frank Tripati. Frank Tripati.
Thank you.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know.
Tripati. I like Tripati. Hey, Frankie Tripati.
I figure he's super Italian.
The problem is he comes like Paul Calhoun to clean out your shit pipes, and it's a competition.
Right.
So,
we got to keep him on the low.
That's right.
But he's a great man.
Thank you.
Jackie Schumacher, TJ Daly, Michael Stein, Melanie Steinley.
Oh,
yes. It's Steinley.
She's
definitely.
wonderful. Thank you.
Craig Cole and Greggy J. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you
Appreciate
so much
very,
for
very
everything.
Much.
Thank you.
Milena Slater. Is that an A? Fuck. I think it is. Milena Slater. Vincent Giardelli. Yes.
Thanks, Paisan.
Kate Ives, Kelly Higby, Sean Hartley, Kate Myers, Rachel Pack, Colleen Shambaugh. Yes, Shambaugh.
Cool.
It's probably Shambaugh.
All right.
Whatever.
We'll take it.
Owen Witherspoon, Preston Letterman, Paul Ruest, of course.
Of course.
Amanda
Thank
McKelvey, thank you again. Amy Nicole upped her
wow.
donation. Thank you,
Amy.
so
much. We appreciate
Catherine Brinker, she also upped hers, I believe. believe.
Jeez, thanks,
Under the Sea
guys.
Fabrics, Janae Compton, Eric Mauger, Jesse Hartman. Again, every week that guy comes through.
Thank you so much.
Paul Saunders, Rachel Kiskaden, Richard Rose, Donna Sittler. I almost called her Shitler. That wasn't very nice.
No,
What am I
she's
doing?
probably been called that before.
I'm sure she has.
Yeah.
J. Bart Carpenter, Todd Crago, Alex East, Lucas Minton says some terrible things about me, and then gave us money. That was nice.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lucas.
Yeah. I remember that one. That was funny.
That's kind of a dicky thing to say
like,
to me.
Okay. And then fucking, but here's some money.
Here's some cash.
Okay.
So we'll make it all better.
It was like Sonny Corleone beat you up and broke your camera and then threw a couple of fucking bucks
Buy
on
a
it.
new camera.
Hey, clean yourself up, kid. I kind of admire that. So good job, Sonny.
Zulamar Lucina,
Cool.
Samantha Borgi, Bryant Toole, Jay Mullins. I don't know what the J stands for, but thank you.
Thank you.
Laura Menson. Yeah, it is Menson. Damn it. Margie Coonsey, she's terrific.
Yeah,
she's
she
been around
is.
for so
Thanks,
long.
Margie. She's
I think
been
I
with us
said
since the
Bryant
start.
Toole. Victoria Jernigan, Brittany Nichols, Emma Cossin. It's Cossin. Yeah.
Okay.
Paula Sala. Fucking damn it.
Paula Sala, fucking damn it.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ,
Paula
that's a name.
Salamanca. That's
There
a
you
name.
go.
That's a damn
That's
name.
a good name.
That's tough.
It's a nice
John
name.
Love or Lowe. I think it's Lowe. That's right. Holly Hoffman, Laura Wood, Eric Waters, William McLean, Connie Christian, and Connie actually wanted me to say happy birthday to Kyler Christian.
Well, happy birthday,
that's what
Kyler.
she wanted me to do.
Happy
Thank
birthday
you, Connie.
to you.
Yeah. Fuck. Hannah Simmons. I lost my place with a happy. Brianna Danu. Elin Forsland. Yes, Forsland. It's too close.
You
to
almost
foreskin.
said foreskin.
It's
I
too
can
close.
see your eyes
It's too
going,
close.
please don't say foreskin,
It's
please
not
don't say
fair.
foreskin.
That's too close. And she's probably dealt with that her whole fucking
sure.
life. I'm sorry, Elin.
Yeah.
Lucky Jean, Manj Sanga, who's going through some tough stuff. So
sorry, Manj.
thanks
We
for
love
being
you,
around,
brother.
Manj.
Hey, Manj, we got your back
you're
always,
fantastic,
man.
buddy.
You are the man, Manj.
Rose Slingluff, yes, Rose Slingluff. Dave Anderson, Craig McGeechan, I think I said that already. Laura Yarnell, Leah Kelly, Ted Cyrus, Willie B, Sean Hartley, Jess Landgren's going through some shit too. And
Hey,
it's
sorry
a
to hear
fucking
that,
bummer.
Jess.
It's really nice.
All
you
of our
guys
favorite
reach out.
people,
Yeah,
damn it.
You guys reach out and tell us when you're having.
I know
struggles.
Tiffany Robertson
Fucking
does that
awesome.
too
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
her struggles and
It's
everything.
Nice to have
and
you guys around and
yeah,
we're pulling
thank you
for
guys. Yeah,
Keep
we're here for you if you
Yeah.
need us. Well, we really probably
As much
can't
as
help
we
you at
can,
all, but
you know?
we'll make 5 hours a show and
give-
hopefully you'll laugh a little.
I'll give you 10 minutes of banging on
And
a
we'll tweet
keyboard
back,
to tell
too.
you I'm
That's
sorry.
fine.
Yeah.
That's good.
Barbara Felker, Ben Sidri, Jess Landgren. Barbara Felker, I said that. Why do I keep doing that same
What is
line?
wrong with you?
I'm like a stroke.
Get your head out of your ass,
Daphne
Jimmy.
Jean Baptiste, Yasmin Chaudhry, Holly Barnes, Jake LeBeer, Access Apparel. I don't know what that is. I didn't Google it, so
Google
Access
it up,
Apparel,
fuckers.
Send us some shirts, you fuckers.
Yeah, there you go.
Key Sardi, Lewis Tiedrick, yes. Michaela Smith, Melissa Coyle, Ariana Folsom. She tells me to tell you guys to Google her. I don't know what that means. Maybe she's on a porn site.
Google her.
Go Google.
Who knows?
Maybe you'll see
she,
her boobs. Who
or
knows?
maybe she has a candle company.
yeah,
we have no
yeah,
idea.
yeah. It's possible.
One or the other.
Yeah.
Either boobs or candles. You're going to find one of the
Either
two on
way,
there.
your house will smell nice.
True.
Eric Michael Showers, I guess he does. Kim Shang, who I imagine is Asian. I'm guessing just
Kim Shang?
Yeah, it's becoming very
Maybe.
fun to guess the.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Asian on now. I mean, I'm not an expert,
Right,
but I'm going to
you know,
say Asian.
Todd Miller, Cameron Blanche, Nathan Little, Donna Birch, Kelsey Hebert's back. Thank you, Kelsey.
Thanks, Kelsey.
Crystal
Appreciate it.
Dinger, Sarah Shafalo, Marcus White, that's what it is. Ashley Vio, Alex Eldridge, Jesse Wilson, Zachary Cornell, Corin M, Amy Crawford, Margaret Essig, Sauerkraut, which is fucking amazing.
Which is delicious.
And Chuck Cook. And if you guys want to see me at the Tell Some Dumb Dick Jokes, if you're in Phoenix, you can find me at the House of Comedy this weekend with Jesse May Peluso. Come out and hang out.
Thank you, folks, so goddamn much.
You're amazing.
So fucking much, honestly. We can't thank you enough. That means the world to us, these donations. They really keep us alive.
You push us.
And they keep us going, and they keep it so we
push
can...
us like an angry Olden Polynice.
Like an angry retired Olden Polynice on a golf course. So we can't thank you guys enough. And what if somebody wanted to hunt you down on the golf course, Jimmy? Where can they reach you?
You can push me around at Whisman Sucks, WHISMAN Sucks on Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. And I appreciate you guys being nice or mean. I don't care.
We
I
don't
just
care.
appreciate you guys being around. What
That's
about you?
it. And I am at Jimmie P is Funny. You can find me me there, or just copy and paste my name from the show description and find me on Facebook or whatever, because it's really long and it's a pain in the ass to spell. Do that. Thank you guys so much for listening. This week was a goddamn fun week.
I can't believe that.
We have a lot of stuff going on, show-wise and behind-the-scenes-wise. It's a lot of stuff going on. We'll announce some cool stuff coming up soon, but thank you guys for getting us to a point where
this shit's possible.
We're in a really good spot, and it's because of you guys, and we have possibilities in our life. So thank you so much. And live from the Crime and Sports Studios, we will see you next week.
Bye.
If you like Crime and Sports, you can listen early and ad-free now by joining Wondery Plus in the Wondery app or on Apple Podcasts. Prime members can listen early and ad-free on Amazon Music. Before you go, tell us about yourself by filling out a short survey at Wondery.com/survey.